will bring empty victories. Trust me, you can win a race you care nothing about, and a lot of people do. Define your terms and execute. Choose your mountaintop and ascend. We explore in order to refine. So let each step be a chiseling away of what no longer serves you, so that you can capture the pieces of life that light up your soul. You don't have to know everything. In fact, you don't even need to know most things. But you do have to know that progress often calls for us to move forward without knowing. It asks that we're willing to learn along the way, to pick up the pieces as we walk by them. And that's a vulnerability that is sometimes tough to face, right? It's a nakedness that we never really shake. The idea that in order to grow, we have to leave the now, ill-prepared for tomorrow, but knowing that we have everything we need to make the transition. The losses become lessons, the failures become data points, the mistakes become our clarity. And until we understand this, there really isn't an upward trajectory. We place too much value on the known, the things we understand, the cyclical nature of a day-to-day that is, as much as life can be, predictable and determined. Characteristics that are actually antithetical to growth. In fact, one could make an argument that in this incredible day and age of information, our need and ability to know often comes at the expense of true transformation. Right? I studied podcasts for so long before I started one that I could have created and improved upon my own, 400 times over. I had to find out who uses what, when to upload, how long the episode should be, and on and on. There are books and videos, there are classes and coaches. All of it wonderful, I'm sure, in its own way. But nothing so powerful as that university of experience, of life. The idea of the thinker and the doer. The thinker that absorbs and contemplates, weighs one option versus another and another. Exhausting time sufficient for the doer to fall on her face twice, pick up the pieces, make necessary changes, and be on her way. See, the information is out there. It exists and can be incredibly valuable, but simultaneously can contribute to us thinking our way into stagnation. A thing can only be what you make it. Right? Things provide the value you decide to extract from them. I like using the example of water because it's simple. Water is necessary to sustain life. Without it, one cannot go on. Too much of it, however, can sink a ship or flood a building. Too much is disastrous. And you can, pretty much fill in the blank with anything else here to demonstrate that point. Life is a balance between not enough and too much, scarcity and excess. But my opinion is that now, with regard to information and technology, we exist on the too much side of the spectrum. I can't even remember the last time I was having a conversation about something I wasn't sure about without interrupting it to pull out my phone and Google the answer. Again, this has its positives. Knowledge is power, but to what extent? And I'm talking big picture here. This is about so much more than, picking up a phone to Google information. This is about never feeling like we're equipped enough to step into something new. Because we can always be obtaining more. And it's like, where do you draw that line? I now, because of the accessibility of information, find myself frequently staring like a deer in headlights. Because some minor detail hasn't been made clear to me. Because everything is not perfectly ironed out. My brain has become conditioned to know. Because knowing is now incredibly easy. But life is about generating a meaningful existence. Meaning is carved from unknowns. It's not Googled or found on Wikipedia. A podcast or YouTube video can't give you meaning. They might help you prepare or point you in the right direction, but meaning is about self-discovery. It's about, taking those things you learn, but giving them life. It's pulled out of the world around you like diamonds from the earth. Necessarily calling for going when you don't know exactly what the destination looks like. Starting when you don't know what the end result will be. We are consuming at the expense of living. Absorbing at the expense of feeling, right? There's the idea that a business book is not the same thing as creating a business. Being on social media is not the same thing as being social. It's an aspect of those things served up without the risk or the upside. That is not real life. In one of my favorite movies, Good Will Hunting, Robin Williams' character, a therapist, is talking to Matt Damon's character. He plays this brilliant young man who has, a photographic memory. He's read every book in the library. He's a genius. But even with all that, he doesn't quite have the courage to move out of his little world into something bigger, into the opportunity that's available for him if only he'd find the strength to seek it out. And here's a segment of Robin Williams trying to explain that to Matt Damon. He says, so if I asked you about art, you'd probably give me this skinny on every art book ever written. Michelangelo, you know a lot about life's work, political aspirations, him and the Pope, sexual orientation, whole works, right? But I bet you can't tell me what it smells like in this Sistine Chapel. You've never actually stood there and looked up at that beautiful ceiling, seen that. If I asked you about women, you'd probably give me a syllabus on your personal favorites. You may have even been late a few times. But you can't tell me what it feels like to wake up next to a woman and feel truly happy. You're a tough kid. I ask you about war and you'd probably throw Shakespeare at me, right? Once into the breach, dear friends. But you've never been near one. You've never held your best friend's head in your lap and watched him gasp his last breath looking to you for help. I look at you. I don't see an intelligent, confident man. I see a cocky, scared kid. And the quote goes on, but the idea is a powerful one. And one of the reasons I've rewatched that scene over and over, it's not that he's trying to belittle the character. He's trying to help him explore the depths of his own personality, his needs and desires, trying to arm him with the understanding that he's strong enough to move beyond the walls he's built around himself. That all that knowledge he's obtained and acquired is meaningless unless he gives it life. Knowing isn't enough. And I want to qualify this again because it's important you meet me where I am. I'm not making a case for ignorance or, books, knowledge, understanding. That's critical. But it's the other piece that makes life worth living. You don't get the reward without the risk, and the risk requires that one moves into the haze without clear understanding of an outcome. It's moving into life without total certainty. And we are hardwired for that certainty. We're built to want to know. And now on top of that, we have the tools to take in infinite knowledge. I want this to be a reminder that we have to circumnavigate that idea to some extent. We have to trust ourselves to figure things out as we go. That waiting until we have everything figured out simply leaves the door cracked for regret to sneak in and make itself comfortable. There's an entire world out there waiting for you not to have it all figured out, but to instead stumble upon the realization that you don't have to know. To move forward, you have to simply trust. That's when the world will transform before your eyes. Every once in a while, there's a point where you're looking in the mirror and you realize you've let go of the rope, right? You were climbing, you were ascending, and moving on to bigger, better, faster, all the things. But then life happened. Maybe you were traveling, there's disruption, you get sick, you sleep in, right? Hit that alarm clock or that snooze button and you tell yourself just this once. But I think we've been there when once becomes twice, twice becomes 3 times. Suddenly, what was second nature now feels like you're climbing a mountain barefoot. Momentum is a lot like fire. It takes time to build, an effort to cultivate, energy to sustain, but only a moment of neglect to flicker out, right? And once that darkness settles in, you start asking yourself all the wrong questions. Well, what's the point? What if I don't have it in me anymore? Do I even have to live like that? What if I was really never that person to begin with? Because the mind is funny like that. It doesn't fight for your potential, it fights for comfort. It wants to take that temporary stumble and build it into a home. It wants to consistently build walls around you. In fact, I would go as far as to say, there's dissonance between where your heart wants to go, where your soul wants to take you, and where some of the most precious things in life are directing you. Your biology wants you safe. It doesn't need you pushing your limits or maxing out your potential. Societally, it's much easier to blend in, to be average. Even friends and family, the ones that love us most, right? There's innately interest in their part on you being safe and secure, which is fine, but all these things lead you to a status quo, not excellence. Excellence, in my eyes, is something that is derived from the self. It's a journey that you have to green light. And so where am I going with this? Well, I'm just coming out of a, we'll say, less than ideal stretch. It's not a remarkable story. It's not going to knock your socks off, but I think you'll find it relatable, right? Where a few weeks ago, everything was firing on all cylinders in, I want to say, all aspects of life, right? In rhythm, dialed in, early mornings, deep work, hitting the gym, spending time with people I care about, all things good, right? Had my hands on the wheel. And then something so small, so seemingly insignificant knocked me off course. Some type of respiratory virus. Nothing serious, enough to keep me in bed for a few days. But in that time, your discipline, focus, habits, all those things you sort of have to fight to cultivate, they can go out the window. They're allowed to unwind because you're telling yourself you'll get back on track and you need this, right? You deserve this. You work hard, right? So the symptoms go away after 3 days, but energy's a little bit down. And you're looking at the gym and you're going, you need the rest. You're looking at those creative ideas, they can wait. Right? You start sleeping in, start hitting the snooze button. And essentially an active choice to recover becomes an unconscious choice to retreat. At some point, you're not healing anymore, you're hiding. And you feel it. right? Just in your bones, there's less excitement, there's less energy. You sort of know you're lying to yourself and not keeping the word that you gave to yourself. It's a bad feeling. You start to internalize that. People follow through on who they believe themselves to be. That's why every step is so important. It's earning that confidence. It's reaffirming that commitment. And without that, life just feels like it's missing something. And so this morning, a very intentional walk outside changed everything. And I know that's anticlimactic. I know it sounds trivial. Good. That is the point. It's so easy to turn things around, right? But as Jim Rohn has said, it's also very easy to continue the same pattern and same habits. That's why it's so hard to change. Not because change is hard, but because staying the same is so damn easy. But here's the message. Here's what I needed, and here's what I'd love to offer up to you in case you find yourself in one of these slumps, or maybe just not firing on all cylinders. That chapter of life or season where you know you're leaving a part of you on the table. Here it is. Life is not about perfection. It's about returning. Our innate ability to rise from the ashes, like a tide returns to shore, or the sun rises no matter how long the light lingers, like a song finding its melody after the notes have scattered. It was all there. It was never broken. The pieces existed. You just happened to step away from that fire for too long. But fires, they don't permanently die. They just need tending to. So wherever you are, you don't need to rebuild the castle. No, at least not today. And that's important to understand. That's important to know. Because if you convince yourself you have to leap a mile, you'll get discouraged and you'll quit. It's a longevity game. You need to pick up the first stone. That's the beauty of momentum. It doesn't ask for everything at once. Just one step, one action, one promise kept. And perhaps this is me standing at the bottom of the mountain again, looking at that summit as it feels so far away. My legs may be a little weaker than they were 2 weeks ago, but I know how the story goes. I've been here before. And every great comeback, from the small, seemingly trivial, all the way up to tasks as grandiose as the mind can imagine, they all start the same way. They start with choosing to begin. The answer you're looking for is right there in the room, always. Now, that's certainly a bold statement. And as I've gotten older, I've kind of learned to avoid speaking in absolutes. Right? Nothing in life is 100% guaranteed. So why am I so confident about that message? Everything you need is right there in the room, always. Well, because I believe in the premise, you're always one decision away from a totally different life. And when we're stuck or lost or looking for change, we need not some crazy, grandiose answer to be delivered from the heavens. We need to find the little action, the tiny movement that's going to set us forth on the journey. We need this snowflake that will become this snowball that will become the avalanche. It seems like so much of life comes down to simply outsmarting our biology. It's like the panic or the emotive defense mechanisms that come into play when we're sad or lost or feeling unsure or down. And it's an absolute superpower to know that when we're in those moments, what we need is an arm's length away. It's a perspective shift away. And I look over my shoulder and I see tons of examples here, right? With my keynote speaking, there was a period where it just wasn't quite clicking, where I knew I wasn't performing the way I could. And I was going back and forth on solutions, trying different things, experimenting, not quite getting there, feeling overwhelmed. It's like, why can't I recreate there what I'm doing here. And then one email to the person who's now my speaking coach, and I had my light bulb moment. Like everything started to transform. Or my YouTube channel, right? It's up, down, everything in between. And like I've said before, there are times where a simple thumbnail change and that video explodes, causing the channel to explode. Right? That's not a big grandiose thing. I can always change a thumbnail. That answer is sitting in the palm of my hand with my phone. Or an example that falls on the more human side of things, right? There are times where, I felt like I've neglected the relationships in my life in order to really focus on my creativity and my businesses. And sometimes that, mentally doesn't feel good. And I can pick up the phone, start a group chat, plan a dinner with some friends, and feel like my cup has been refilled. But it's like, you don't have to have it all figured out. Which is great news because you never will. You just need to start creating momentum. There's nothing more powerful than going to bed at night feeling like you are moving towards something meaningful. Again, doesn't mean you need to have it all figured out, but in a world where progress largely equates to happiness, it means you are actively manufacturing momentum. That's everything. I often think of my friend's son, Wyatt. He's become sort of a metaphor for that childlike instinct that seems to be the answer for so much, right? He's wandering around the living room, just reusing everything as it suits him. The world is not as it quote unquote is, it's as he sees it. Picks up a TV remote, becomes a microphone. Finds a blanket, becomes the roof for the fort he's building in the living room. Everything is a solution to what he needs. Everything is a color that can go on his canvas. And I think that's the place we need to be. That's the idea. The next brushstroke is in the room. Maybe it's a phone call, an email. Maybe it's a walk outside, a stroll to the gym. Maybe it's literally cleaning your room, your apartment or house. Maybe it's one social media post. Maybe it's a DM. Maybe it's 10 pages of a book. Maybe it's watching a how-to YouTube video. Maybe it's signing up for a class, meeting up with someone to talk business, life, or anything in between. See, we spend so much time trying to get to the moon that we overlook the staircase it'll take to get there. Oh, and surprise, step one is at your feet. Right? Don't think miracle, think momentum. It's very hard to slow down an object in motion. So stop beating yourself up for not having all the answers and simply keep moving. Don't feel down for not having all the solutions and be proud you're walking towards them. Remember, everything you need is in the room. Always. "90 seconds is too much." Just is. I can't do 90 seconds. And I can't do 90 seconds because my brain can't compute 90 seconds. But I can do 30 seconds. And I can do 30 seconds forever. As we navigate our day-to-day, it's hard to see that because so often our day-to-day lacks clarity. So what can we do about it? Well, we can place ourselves in situations where we are reminded. One of them I've talked about before, being the cold plunge. Immersing yourself in cold water. Well, sure, there are health benefits, some of which are debated and disputed, but I certainly notice value in that department. But to me, that's not the biggest value add, not even close. To me, it's simply the daily reminder that I can do hard things, that it's who I am. We need to reestablish that consistently. Confidence is earned. And I know in my life, I must earn it repeatedly. And when I'm immersed in the cold and shivering, there's always a point in my mind, however brief, that I'm thinking, I want out now. The other day, I was at this point, looked at my watch, 90 seconds left. And that day, in that moment, it felt like an eternity, just too much. And those of you who are endurance athletes, for example, you know that when your body's operating at max capacity, you're suffering, you're exhausted. 90 seconds is truly a lifetime. When you look at it like that, it's too much discomfort for a minute and a half. Your heart starts beating, your mind starts worrying, right? And so what do we do about it? Well, we look at it a little differently, because from a different angle, you can skip it. You can do 30 seconds. The brain can grasp and digest 30 seconds. You can do anything for 30 seconds. Okay. So you start counting. All of a sudden, 30 gone. Now what? Well, you just did 30. You see how quick that went? Do another 30. Okay. Done. Just like that. Now what? 30 more. But this is the last 30. You don't even feel anything on the last 30, right? Come on. Adrenaline's going. You can feel the finish line. This is free time. This is a gift. This is cruise control. And now, done. You didn't have to do 90 seconds. You only had to do 3 by 30. And anyone saying, come on, man, that's the same thing. Yeah, it's the same when you're not under duress. But it's a miracle when you are. So why is running life? Why is cold plunging life? Why is putting your body through stress or difficulty life? Because you remember that life is taking big, difficult, seemingly complex things and breaking them down into manageable tasks. That is life. The pieces are always manageable. Now, the monster we allow the pieces to become when we stack them up and give them an invisible face, that's not so manageable. That's self-sabotage. And so to arm yourself with the understanding that all big things must be broken down is to green light the extraordinary. On day 1 in 2014, a YouTube channel with 0 subscribers, growing to help over 100,000 people a day, that's a 90-second cold plunge. That's unfathomable, unthinkable, impossible. But one video, weekly, at least, for 9 years, that's a 30-second cold plunge. It's very doable. Standing in front of the mirror, practicing storytelling and speaking, it's 30 seconds in cold water. Reaching out to others to learn, to get better, 30 seconds in cold water. It's like you look back and you see that you endured that 90-second plunge simply by breaking it down. That's all growth is. That's all evolution is. Finding the smallest piece possible and making it actionable. And then watching that transform, multiply, compound over time. In one of my favorite books, Unbroken by Laura Hillenbrand, this reminder comes through beautifully. Louis Zamperini, an American prisoner of war in Japanese internment camps during World War II, he basically experiences unimaginable hell and suffering. He watches his friends die, he's beaten, he's starved, he comes close to death himself. And at the end, when he's rescued, and I'm paraphrasing, but I remember this part incredibly vividly, he's asked if he could do that again, and he states he'd rather die. Because turning around and viewing it holistically like that is too much. It's unfathomable. That pain is bigger than one can even comprehend. But taking something like that, day by day, step by step, he did the unthinkable. He survived. In breaking the 90-second task down into 30-second pieces, he walked away. In breaking the seemingly insurmountable down into the manageable, and looking at each individual step as a superpower, he emerged. And you talk about perspective. His experience was as challenging as it gets. Right? My cold plunge is laughable in comparison. But my mind doesn't know that. It's up to me to reinforce it. Building a business is nothing in comparison to Louis Zamperini, but my mind doesn't know that. Healing my shoulder and getting stronger in the gym is nothing in comparison, but my mind does not know that. It's looking at the mountain and reminding myself, Eddie, you can't leap those. I've seen you jump, buddy. But the good news is, no mountains need be leapt here. We ascend this thing one rock at a time, and mark my words, you conquer those manageable tasks day in and day out, you will find yourself. So when you feel stuck or too small for the task at hand, remind yourself you're looking at a 90-second block here. Break that down. Ask yourself what your 30 is. Ask yourself what you can create that's manageable, that will create your momentum, that will shoot you into a trajectory that will allow growth and position you someday to look back over your shoulder and go, wow, I endured all that. A transformation too big to understand on day one. It's a beautiful thing watching all those little steps add up to create the extraordinary.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Can you believe it that we're on to day 5? Day 5 of the challenge. Did you ever think you'd make it all the way to day 5? Anyway, we've got an exciting day ahead of us. So let's see who's in the room. I hope that your energy is up. It's been an interesting week. Lots to go through, and nice to see lots of familiar names here. So let me get going with day 5 for you. What is day 5 all about? Let me share my screen here. It's all about putting it into practice. Now, for me, this is a really interesting thing because I'm not showing my PowerPoint yet. You know, most people in life go out and they get a lot of theory. And there's no point in getting theory without actually implementing it. So we spoke right up front on day 1, and we spoke about the dabblers. I doubt the dabblers are even here. Because the dabblers tend to get bored and they probably already on some other course somewhere. The stressors, well, they might still be here and you're probably stressing and thinking, oh my word, what am I going to do next? How am I going to implement this? This is overwhelming. And the masters are going, it's okay. I understand that I'm going to be overwhelmed. I'm learning new things I didn't know, but I've now understood that it's about getting the right information, getting the right partners, and through that process, I'm going to be able to get to where I want. And what becomes really important is that everything that we try and do is about results. And so today is an interesting day. By the way, today's my favorite day of the 5 days. And the reason being is that I throw in quite a lot of psychology and personal development. So I've loved personal development. I spent certainly the best part of close to 3 decades now, learning from some of the best in the world from a personal development perspective. And one of the reasons why let me just stop sharing there. One of the reasons why I chuck in personal development, and I have had people go, oh, but Scott, why do you do personal development? We just come here to do investments. And I'm like, because if you don't believe it's possible, it's not possible. So I don't care whether you got $10 or $10 million. The point being is that we've all got our fears, we've all got our concerns. Whenever you do something new for the first time, like if you bought houses in Cape Town and now you try to go buy houses in London, you've always got anxiety when you do something new. And so one of the things that we do very purposely today is putting it into action, is that by the close of play today, we promised you that you would walk away with an action plan. Okay, that's the idea. You'll walk away with an action plan. But what's also really important is that we walk away with the belief system that it's possible. And that's one of the reasons why all through the week, we've peppered in real people, real stories, so that you can learn from others that are actually doing it. And if they've done it, and if over 4,000 other people have done it from 178 countries, then my belief system is you can do it. Is that fair? So I wanted to start with a video, and it's one of the best things that I learned. And you can see that I go back a lot to that experience that I had in 2010 when I spent $15,000 to go to Vegas and then $50,000 to go to Fiji. And one of the greatest things that I learned was that we all have constraints. We all have constraints. Every single person wishes they had more time. Most people wish they had more money. And even someone who's really wealthy, I'm sure, would wish they had more. And most of us wish that we'd have more knowledge. And that's just 3 things that we've spoken about all week. There's many, many more. And so what are they all? Well, in simple terms, they are resources. Okay, they are resources. Now, mindset and your belief systems and who you are and how you show up is also a resource. And so there's a beautiful video that I want to start today with, because it's absolutely critical to everything that we are going to be going through in terms of this process. And I want to play this for you.
Resources are never the real problem. A lack of resourcefulness is the real problem. I'll say it again. Lacking the resources is not the problem. Lacking resourcefulness is the real problem. What I mean by that is very simple. The ultimate resource is human emotion. What starts wars? Is it logic? Hell no, it's emotion. What makes you get married or get divorced? It's emotion. What will make you stay up all night, work to build your business? Emotion. What will make you give up? Emotion. If you don't master your emotion, if you don't become resourceful, then you're going to think the problem is resources. Because I'm here to tell you, every great person I know didn't have the resources, but they got them because they're resourceful. And what that means is, if you're creative enough, creativity is an emotional resource, can you find an answer to the problem, yes or no? If you're determined enough, can you find the money that you don't have? Can you find it? Yes or no? If you care enough and get other people to care with you, can you get them to help you? Yes or no? If you are bold enough, if you're strong enough, if you're disciplined enough, can you get yourself to do things other people cannot find a way to do? Yes or no? See, the ultimate resource is resourcefulness. If you can find the hunger inside of you and you can remember, I don't need resources, I need resourcefulness, that'll get me the resources, then anything you dream about you can make real. But the minute you forget that and you come up with a story that goes, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I can't do it, it's too far away, that's what's gonna kill you. Change your story, change your life. And we all have a story because we're afraid, all of us, to fail. We're afraid to not look good. We're afraid to be disappointed. We're afraid to get our hopes up. But the only way that you get courage, courage means you're afraid, but you do it anyway. It's not courage if you're not scared. Whether you do it or not is not going to be based on your ability. What you're capable of is amazing. What most people will do is disappointing. It has nothing to do with the content of what needs to be done. It's everything to do with the mastery of your own states.
Did you enjoy that? Pretty cool, eh? What an awesome video. I one of the better videos I've ever found. And learning about that resourcefulness thing from Tony Robbins was one of the greatest breakthroughs for me, because like in business and in life, it's always like, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. And it's like, cool, we'll get resourceful and figure it out. And if nothing else, hopefully today, that's what we're going to do for day 5. And that's why I'm starting with the word resourceful, because you came here on Monday, you came here with an outcome you wanted to achieve. You've invested 5 days of your time. And my strong recommendation is that you get resourceful and find a way. We're going to give you lots of different ways. I mean, you can do it on your own if you want to, but we're going to give you lots of different ways that we can work together if you want to help you get the outcomes that you want over the next couple of days. So you can see the screen there. This is what it is all about. So it's putting into practice, implementing diversification in real life, building a personalized action plan, resources for ongoing learning, and applying the principles in real investments, and then a Q&A. Hopefully by now you already know the tips for success. Playful attention, take notes, try and teach someone else, playful on, do the exercises, set yourself goals, take action, and have fun in terms of that process. I hope that by now everyone knows where the resources are, and that's where you can find the recordings and all the homework and all the little links below and everything in between. So you can literally just go to the diversificationchallenge.com/resources, and it's all there, and you can literally get access to all the resources that have been put in. Reminding you that after the weekend, we will take down the recordings for people that are in the free community, and then the VIPs and the wealth hackers will obviously have access to it ongoing in terms of that process. So yeah, if I don't know if you just want to chuck up the link there, Shane, that would be great, basically. Okay, you've got the WhatsApp group. Again, we don't send Christmas cards and all of that, but it is a useful group just to kind of keep you updated in terms of what's happening. And then we've got the university group. And if you're not part of it, you know, my question to you would be, why not? Like, what are you waiting for? It's literally free, and it's been designed for people that want to build diversified passive income. Okay, so if you want to build diversified passive income of at least $1,000 or more, then you should be joining the group. So let's just go to that group quickly. And if you go to the About page, you can literally see it. So this is a free community that helps investors earn $1,000 or more in diversified passive income as soon as possible with our smart investing blueprint. So if that's what you want, then this is a place to be. And that's why I sort of say to you, you know, what are you waiting for in terms of that process? Like, I don't understand why you'd be here for 5 days and then not, you know, not join up to that community. In terms of the resources, you can see here that everything is here. So if you go back, you know, just as an example to day 4, there's the recording, there's all the, you know, the links and everything else. Joining the 30-day passive income challenge, joining the wealth hackers, joining the mastermind, Judd Dunning, Bruce Sanders, book a discovery call. I mean, I personally think Shane's incredible, and I don't know how we could make it any easier for you in terms of putting it all in one place, in terms of that process. Just by the way, if you've enjoyed the week and you've enjoyed all the systems and you've enjoyed how it's set up and everything, you know, that all happens with Shane. So a big shout out to Shane. You know, often I'm the one on stage doing the talking, but actually making it work, the mechanics and everything else, and all the resources and everything that you're getting, that's all Shane. So a huge shout out to Shane for that process. Okay, so I want to play you another little video here, and you're actually going to have to tell me, just let me know in the chat box if the sound is coming through for you.
You're a gladiator. Yes, boss. I wasn't the best because I killed quickly. I was the best because the crowd loved me. When the crowd, and you'll win your freedom. I'll give them something they've never seen before.
So the reason I played that video is a number of people asked us, how does the different, it's basically called gamification. And so how does it work? So within the university group, there's a whole bunch of things. So you earn points when other members like your posts or comment. 1 like equals 1 point. This encourages users to produce quality content and interact with other members in the community. As you gain your points, you level up. Your level is shown at the bottom right of your avatar. The number of points required to get to the next level is shown under your avatar. So what this basically means is that it's all about gamification and it's all about community engagement. So if you go in here, you can go to the leaderboard and you can basically see the different levels and like what you get at the different levels. You can see all the different levels here. And then basically you can see who the leaderboards are and the whole process. So it's all about gamification and community engagement. This is not the Scott Pickens show or the Shane show or the Alex show. This is where people can go in. You can comment, you can add stuff, you can communicate with each other in terms of that process. So yeah, use it. It's an incredible resource, one of the fastest growing companies in the world, and you get to participate and be part of it. If you want to be an affiliate, so I'm going to show you today something where because the investments, the assets that we invest in are like quality assets, but the returns are pretty standard. You've only really got 2 options. You either need more time and less money, or you need less time and more money. It's that simple. It's like a seesaw. And the only other option is that you can increase your money by being an affiliate, but without having to increase time. So it's the whole principle of Zig Ziglar. You can have anything you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. So if you like what we're doing, we've got 155 people and companies that are already part of our affiliates. Kelly actually runs our affiliate and partner program, and you can literally sign up. And if you do that, everything's trackable. And then if you help someone learn about us, rather than us paying Google, so if we get a new lead, generally we have to pay Google like 20% or whatever for that new lead. Rather than paying Google or Facebook, we'll just pay you. Does that make sense? Yes? No? You might as well understand how it works. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's none of that shit. It's the money that we use to generally spend on Google or Facebook, we'd rather give to you. And by the way, we prefer that anyway, because it comes through trusted relationships. And we're much more about community and networks and partnering than we are about paid for marketing, if that makes sense. So it's all based on this principle. You can have anything you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. And I've been toying with whether I should say this to you. So my son turned 13 this morning, and I did this thing for him called the 13 Lessons for Life. And I don't know if you want me to share them, but for me, these type of principles are absolutely invaluable because, like, you can literally have anything you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. So, again, back to the affiliate thing, you can literally, like, you can say, oh, I don't have enough of this, I don't have that, or whatever. And you're cool. How can I go empower 100 other people? And if I empower 100 other people, then, you can add significant value in terms of your life, in terms of that process. I can see a couple of people have asked me, so let me do it. It's got nothing to do with investment, but let me bring it up here quickly for you. So if you can see my screen here, 13 lessons for Jonty. I'm probably not going to be able to read this, but anyway, I'll always love you more than you know, no matter what. I'll always be there for you. Even though I'm far away, I'm merely a call away. I'm so proud of you, just as you are. Dream big, men become what they dream. Never ever worry if you fail, as long as you have tried your best. You can have anything you want in life if you add enough value to others. The greatest risk in life is to risk nothing. This is going to be the same with the ladies one day, just saying. Focus on your strengths and don't worry about your weaknesses. One of your greatest attributes is your kindness. Nurture it and never let anyone take advantage. Enjoy every step of the journey, as each new chapter is interesting, and please never try and grow up too quickly. You have your whole life to be an adult. Don't worry about what others think. Don't follow the crowd. What is most important is how you feel, and that you're true to yourself, your needs, and your want. Let your heart, gut feel, and values guide you. Never let anyone else steal your dreams. Ignore negative people. Believe in yourself and follow your dreams, as anything is possible when you put your mind to it. And number 13, where there's a will, there's a way. Anyway, that was his gift for the morning. So we got some prizes, and there's winners for the homework. And what this is going to be is a live session with us. So just to be clear, it's not an upgrade to the mastermind, but you get to have one live session with us. So the next live session in March, we will invite you to that. And you'll get to experience what it's like to be in first class. So my metaphor is you're on an airplane, you're sitting in economy, and the air hostess comes up to you and says, hey, would you like to, you've been upgraded for this one flight, and you get to sit in business or first class. It's the same option in terms of that process. So you'll get to come and experience what it's like in the mastermind for one session in terms of that process. And thanks for all the lovely messages coming through. So it's time for me to find my bell. And where's it gone now? Drum roll. Time for the drum roll. Who is going to... So who do you think deserves the grand prize? Someone that's done the most with their homework, added the most in the community, added to everyone else's experience. This is always an interesting one for us in terms of looking through. Sometimes we have split votes, and myself and Shane and Alex sit and we have a bit of a debate. And today, I wanted to announce that we have a special winner, and the winner is Frankie. So well done, Frankie. Congratulations. You have won the grand prize in terms of that process. So loved all your engagement and commitment and everything you've done in terms of your homework and everything. So congratulations to you in terms of that process. And Shane and the team will let you know how it works for that session in March. I think off the top of my head, I think it's the 12th of March. So I just need to double check. Okay, we've got a new global investor in Lindsay. So Lindsay said her funds are reflected, and thanks for assisting. She's done her first overseas investment, so congratulations to her. And Lazarus also made his first investment. So yeah, if you are interested in prizes and you never know, come and engage in the chat. And we've got one VIP session left today where we bring it all together in terms of that process. And yeah, lovely, all the different comments coming in for you, Frankie. So I just remind you of the Q&A. The most important part now as we go into day 5 is that the people that are part of the Wealth Hackers will get access to all the recordings, going forward. And if you're VIP, you also get access to the recordings in terms of that process. So yeah, if you want to go over this again and again, then certainly that's an option in terms of the process. You can still upgrade if you want to. Shane just put the link in the process. So while we're here, what's our focus? Globally diversified passive income and portfolio growth. How do we do it? Well, we diversify across countries, currencies, assets, partners, and time. And it's all about passive income. And then what do? Well, we break it down. If you've got a hairy audacious goal, you set your goal, you break it down into monthly milestones, and then you've got daily tasks and activities. Your action items for yesterday where your silver was identify one specific risk in your current investments and outline how diversification can mitigate it. Name 3 things which you can do to find the right partners and the right information. Consider joining the Passive Income Challenge, joining the Wealth Hackers, and joining the Mastermind in terms of that process. And just reminding you, the Passive Income Challenge, the digital recordings are free. If you're part of the Wealth Hackers, you're not only going to get access to all the home study courses, but you're also going to get the ongoing weekly coaching to implement the Passive Income Challenge. And then you've got the mastermind, which is where you work with me specifically and you collaborate with the family office in terms of that process. And then, as always, share one key takeaway. I must admit, I love going on the platform and seeing what everyone's key takeaways are. It gives me good insight into what you're listening and learning in terms of that process. We also gave you 2 bonuses. So I'm just going to get the dog here. It's scratching at the door. Put in the chat box quickly while I'm just opening the door. Did anyone watch Judd Dunning or Bruce Sanders? I'm interested on your feedback. Okay, excellent. Steve watched Judd, tried but was not successful. No problem. There's no need to do it in the last 24 hours, but there are resources there for you to learn from in terms of the next steps. And then if you're still not sure what to do and you're feeling overwhelmed, the best thing I can suggest is speak to a human. So just book a call, a discovery call, chat to one of the team members that can understand where you're sitting, and then we can kind of point you in the right direction in terms of that process. So I'm now today, one of the most important things today, and you remember I told you this on day one, is the way to enhance any skill is through repetition. So one of the things I'm going to do today in wrapping up and helping you leave with a plan is repeating the important things so that they really kind of get ingrained for you. So I honestly believe you've got 2 options. The first is that you use one of these excuses, if not all of them. I don't have the money, I don't have the knowledge, and I don't have the time. And my fundamental belief is that, you know, whether it's at the end of this year or the end of, next year or the end of this decade or whatever it is, you're going to sit with that same feeling of frustration and anxiety that nothing had changed and nothing's going to change. And you get to choose. Now, there's a beautiful little video here that I love, and you're getting my repertoire of the videos I enjoy the most. And this video is another one of those. You can change it by your belief system.
Yo, Robert, what's going on? Where have you been? You're late. No, I don't want to hear this. Look, your job performance is nowhere near good enough to be part of this. I don't give a damn who your father is. You understand me? Yeah. All right. All right. Now get out of here.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So you nervous about the fight?
They're scared to death.
You don't look scared?
Well, you ain't supposed to.
Then you don't have to do it.
Yeah, well, I think I do.
You know, living with you, it hasn't been easy. People see me, but they think of you. Now with all this going on, this is going to be worse than ever.
It don't have to be.
No, sure it does.
Why? You got a lot going on, kid.
Well, my last name? That's the reason I got a decent job. That's the reason why people deal with me in the first place. Now I start to get a little ahead. I start to get a little something for myself. And this happens. Now I'm asking you as a favor not to go through with this, okay? This is only going to end up bad for you, and it's going to end up bad for me.
You think I'm hurting you?
Yeah, in a way you are.
It's the last thing I ever wanted to do.
I know that's not what you want to do, but that's just the way that it is. Don't you care what people think? Doesn't it bother you that people are making you out to be a joke and that I'm going to be included in that? Do you think that's right? Do you?
You ain't gonna believe this. But you used to fit right here. I'd hold you up and say to your mother, this kid's gonna be the best kid in the world. This kid's gonna be somebody better than anybody ever knew. And you grew up good and wonderful. It was great just watching you every day. It was like a privilege. Then the time come for you to be your own man and take on the world, and you did. But somewhere along the line, you changed. You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. And when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame, like a big shadow. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. I'm always gonna love you no matter what. No matter what happens. You're my son, you're my blood. You're the best thing in my life. But until you start believing in yourself, you ain't gonna have a life. Don't forget to visit your mother.
Until you start to believe in yourself, you ain't going to have a life. Pretty cool. So again, we got these two choices where you can use these excuses, or we can go to the other side of the fence where we can get what we want. We can get the knowledge through partnership, and you can get the time. And I fundamentally believe this picture kind of represents that sort of happy family and generational wealth and peace of mind and everything that I assume most of you, I know I'm certainly looking for it. I assume most of you are sort of looking for it in terms of that process. So just a reminder of a couple of the options you got. You've got the passive income challenge. You can literally go on the link now. You can sign up for it. And the whole logic is within 30 days, you should be earning a passive income. The next one, if you're wanting to do the coaching, so I mean, you can literally go sign up now. You can do it all on the weekend if you want to, because there's digital recordings. But if you want to have someone hold your hand and you want someone to coach you through the process, Coach Alex, I think, Shane, maybe we should come up with a name. I don't know if Alex is here, but he probably would like something like Coach Alex, some fancy, superhero name. But if you want him to help you, the next session will be running literally for March. So it's perfect for you. It's literally next week. And that'll be, you need to be one of the wealth hackers to be able to be part of that. And as Frankie said 2 or 3 days ago, she said the coaching and hand-holding we're receiving is actually priceless. Passive income challenge has changed my life and has put me on a wealthy mindset now. And I did the 30-day challenge. I started investing and it's worth it from William. So yeah, you can do it for free if you want, or you can join the wealth hackers. If you join the wealth hackers, then you've got that coaching and accountability, which is important. Rochelle says Yoda Alex. Maybe we should have a competition so you can come up with a cool name for Alex. I know he likes to. I think he's a superhero. So just important. Here's another little video of the benefit of being part of a community.
Whatever comes out of these gates, got a better chance of survival if we work together. You understand? We stay together, we survive.
Oh, sorry. So I've just been told there was no sound there. I'll tell you what, it's such a powerful little video. I'm just going to play it again for you. Sorry, I'm really irritated with these. Zoom's got so bloody complicated nowadays. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, let me play it for you again.
Whatever comes out of these gates, we've got a better chance of survival if we work together. You understand? We stay together, we survive.
And the whole philosophy is we stay together and we survive. And then this for me is what it's like to work as a team.
Whatever comes out of these gates,
We've got a better chance of survival if we work together. Do you understand? We stay together, we survive.
Why I play that video for you is that it's that feeling of victory that I wanted you to see and experience, and it's why I wanted to replay with the sound, and because that's what we feel people want. That's what we want you to experience when you get your passive income, because it's something you've wanted to achieve. And again, I don't care how wealthy you are, but now you want to do it diversified in multiple countries, multiple currencies, multiple assets, and it's that feeling that we want everyone to experience in terms of that process. I showed you pictures. You know, we've come from being a community company. Literally in 2004, we started. We built everything on community. You know, whether it was the live events in London or the buyers trips around the world or the wealth weekends that we've continued to put together. Our next one literally is next weekend, and that's what Wealth Hackers is all about. Our Wealth Hackers is a digital community of like-minded people that are building diversified passive income of at least $1,000 or more. And we basically copied the concept of Netflix, where we've taken all of our home study courses, all the work that Shane and Alex and I have built over the years. I mean, I've been presenting for over 20 years now. And we've taken all of the best stuff and we've literally put it into the Wealth Hackers. So other people have paid over $2,500 just for these two courses. So, you know, Wealth Going Global is the right information. Asset Mastery is the right partners, and literally, they've literally paid $2,500 for it. When you take all the other courses, so you've got right information, right partners, then you've got Clem Santa, you've got the Clem Santa Q&A, you've got the updated 6 pillars for wealth, you've got the Enneagram and wealth. All of those courses are included. Then for those of you that take advantage of this week of the fast action bonus and actually pay in full, you're going to get access to some extra ones. So sorry, we've got how to teach your children about money as well. But we're going to give you access to generational wealth, the whole course that was given by David Lipschitz, who, by the way, charges $250,000 a family. And now you get access to that information. You've got effective tax and structuring and estate duties. So everyone always asks me about tax. Well, there's the answer. It's worth over $20,000 just on its own. And then you've got the entire wealth weekend, the last one we did, with the 6 mega trends, the Enneagram and wealth, and the generational wealth. And then you've got access to the community. If you add it all together, it's over $60,000 of value in terms of that process. And I wanted to share a funny picture of you. Oh, it's not of you, of me. So I went to India and I did a month's meditation course in India. And one of the lessons that I learned when I was in India, this was me in the resort in India. And one of the things I learned was my father always said, do your best, do. And what I learned in India was it's about being your best. So most people out there have it the wrong way around. They think like one day when I have stuff, then I'll do stuff and then I'll be the right person. But actually it's the other way around. It's be, do, have. So you have to be the person you want to be, and then you do the stuff that you need to do, and then you're going to have the stuff that you actually want. And why this is so important is that the whole principle of the Wealth Hackers is that we've gone and we've built the ongoing. So I told you already, we spent $12,000 working in the last literally month, working with one of the best teams in America. And they were like saying, where the world is evolving now is you've got the home study courses. They're there. I mean, you can go to the Wealth Hackers. You've got access to all the home study courses. By the way, there's a whole bunch of cool stuff as well. There's a manifesto, there's a wealth code, there's useful resources, there's time management. There's a whole bunch of useful, things that we give you in this case. But what we're building out now is the ongoing engagement as well. So the B part, okay, and that's why Alex does the coaching and accountability every single Wednesday. I'm live every single Friday to talk about strategy around wealth, what's happening with deals, my thoughts. It's basically an open Q&A. And I'm sure those of you that have been part of the VIP would now understand and resonate with the value of an open Q&A where you can kind of talk about anything really in terms of that process. So that's a massive part of what we are doing and evolving and adapting the Wealth Hackers so that you're getting huge advantage in an ongoing basis. It's not just the home study courses. They're there as a resource, but actually it's the ongoing learning. You don't have to turn up every week. They're all recorded, but they are there should you want and should you want to be able to speak to a human in terms of that process. So we've literally tried to make this as affordable as possible. Again, based on Zig Ziglar's principle. And the reason being is that we want to make it easy and accessible for people. We want people to be able to get started. So it's $356 a year. It's over $60,000 worth of value. You've seen all the home study courses you're getting. You're getting the coaching and accountability from both Alex on that side and myself on the strategy side. And as a unique bonus for this week, we're actually chucking in the tax and structuring, the generational wealth, and the recordings of the last Wealth Weekend, if you take advantage. So I'd strongly recommend that you get involved if you haven't in the Wealth Hackers. It's an ongoing journey, and maybe even one day we can figure out how everyone can get a T-shirt in terms of that process. But I want to play you a little video because I know one of the things that will be going through your head is, oh, that's lots of courses. I don't have the time, etc. So I want to play you this video because this lady, Glenda, was in the same boat as you, basically. And she actually did the course, and where's she gone now? Oh, there. And she did was this her? I think it's the right one. Yeah. And this was her feeling, even though she's super busy. This is the experience that she got. Nina, thanks so much for joining us late in the evening. I deeply appreciate it. Just a couple of quick questions for you, Nina. A lot of people will be sitting here tonight, not too dissimilar to where you were a couple of weeks or months ago, and you were thinking to yourself, as I understand it, you're a property investor yourself. You've read all the books. You're very similar to me. You've done all the courses, done all the books, but this investing internationally, and is overwhelming. And often when you come on something like this, it can feel too good to be true. What was your experience? Where were you at during that time?
Yeah, I think for me, investing overseas has always been a bit of pie in the sky. I never felt that I would ever be confident enough to do it because, I always want to know and understand exactly what I do before I get involved in any venture. So this course really opened things up for me and made me believe that it's really a possibility for me.
For me, Nina, for someone that, is time poor, one of the challenges that we've got is that someone like myself, someone like yourself, we're running busy lives, we've got careers, etc. And yet we've been wanting to do this for years. This course it's quite intense. There's quite a lot to it in a short space of time. What was your experience in terms of gathering the information, not necessarily or feeling overwhelmed, but do you understand that it feels like it's a big mountain to climb? You've got that system, you can go back to it. But what's been your experience between that sort of overwhelm, too busy, at work, but ultimately wanting to get the knowledge and be able to execute?
Yeah, Scott, I must be honest, in the beginning, it was quite daunting to think that I had to block out 3 hours a week to attend the webinars. But in the end, it worked out perfectly. And also, I think just the way you and Shane organized the information. So if you did miss something, it was quite easy to listen to the recording and go back to the slides. And in fact, as you know, after about the third or the fourth webinar, I felt a bit lost and overwhelmed, and I took a day and a half out, and I actually re-listened to all the material, which really brought a lot of the concepts home for me, So yeah, I think just it doesn't matter how busy you are, as long as you can make some time in your schedule. The information is there, it's well organized, and it's easy to access at any time.
Brilliant. It's so interesting. I remember being taught by Dr. Anna Strahan many years ago. People say to me, well, I don't have time to be able to do it. And I'm like, well, in 10 years' time, if you don't do something now, is anything actually going to change in 10 years, like in the future? So it's always what Anna Strahan said and what he taught me is you need to sometimes look at yourself over 10 years and you say, what decision do I need to make today so that I can be different in 10 years? And then if it's important enough to you, you'll make the time, is what I learned from Anna Strahan, many, many years ago. Anita, last question. Sorry, after you.
I just want to say to people who are on the fence right now, there's no time like the present. A lot of us, and I think you told the story as well, that sometimes you wish you'd started 10 years ago. So I just want to say to people who are on the fence, the time is now. Just go for it.
Awesome. No, Nina, I deeply appreciate that. And I think my final comment to you is, firstly, well done and congratulations for going through it. So many people in life, want something, but don't actually do anything about it. And you did. And I just really want to acknowledge and congratulate you for that. My final question to you is, what's it like, the feeling of kind of walking away with an investor strategy sheet, with a wealth plan, like actually something tangible? So not just knowledge, but actually having an action plan. What does that feel like to you?
Yeah, I must admit, the wealth calculator was a bit depressing when I first did the calculations, because it's a reality check that's necessary, to understand that if you want to get to where you want to go, that this is what you have to do, and you have to start today. And so I think it's really valuable for having a wealth planner to know what you need to do from tomorrow onwards. And I'm really excited, and I can't wait for the deals coming on the platform. So I'm looking out for those and excited to begin.
Awesome. Well, Anita, thanks so much for coming and sharing your experience with everyone tonight. I deeply appreciate you giving us your time. And I think the most important thing that hopefully everyone gets out of this is that you were in their shoes 2 months ago. And I know, as an example, you and Alex had a chat, and it was a little bit of a, again, for everyone, it's almost like we all need that little push sometimes. And hopefully, if nothing else tonight, your story can give them the push that they need, because it won't change my life. I don't care whether people get the knowledge. I've already got it. But it's whether they get it for themselves that's going to make a difference, No,
absolutely. And can highly recommend. So go for it, guys.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Anina. I deeply appreciate it. As always, continuing to try and share real people, real stories for you. So if you want her experience, join us on the Wealth Hackers. And I remind you that there's a free option. So you can sign up to trial for 7 days. You can literally go in and try it for 7 days in terms of that process. And then we've been through that in terms of the process. Again, if you do it on an annual basis, there's a 20% discount in terms of the process. I would recommend joining up. Today's the last day to be able to get access to all the extra bonus sessions that we're chucking in terms of the fast action bonus. So if you're interested in the tax and structuring, if you're interested in the generational wealth, and if you're interested in the 6 mega trends from the wealth weekend, then I would take action today if I was you. Okay. I already mentioned this. You literally just go to the start the free trial, and you click on the button, and you can try it for 7 days. So, literally, go and give it a test run. You won't obviously get the weekly coaching and whatever within 7 days. Actually, I suppose you might. You might, over 7 days, you'll probably get Alex next Wednesday, and maybe you'll get me by Friday as well. But anyway, you can certainly try it. Cool. And I don't think we need to worry about the testimonials, because you've just seen one from her. There's lots of written ones and video ones in terms of that process. And then for the wealth hackers, there's also a bonus in there. So there's the 10 personal development tips that I've learned by investing more than $1 million in personal development in 25 years. So that's I do these masterclasses sort of once every 1 or 2 months for the wealth hackers. So that was one I did right at the end of last year, November, December last year, which will be a bonus for you if you join the wealth hackers as well. We'll give that to you as a bonus. Okay, so, and then finally for Private Wealth Global, this is all about getting the results safely and simply. This is our mastermind, and it's our enhanced partnership between Callio Capital and Wealth Migrate. I remind you that there are 9 steps to creating generational wealth. Your financial planner, to my knowledge from my own experience, is doing generally only one of them. So you need to do all 9 of them in terms of the process. You'll get access to our exclusive learning community, and you'll also get access to the private deals. And probably the thing that I think is best in this whole process is that you not only have the partner that's holding your hand and giving you that one-to-one bespoke advice, but you also are within a group of like-minded people. And it's amazing how often we have people say, money is quite a lonely space. Like, who do you talk to? You can't talk to your friends. You can't talk to your work colleagues. But imagine being in a group of 100 like-minded people where you can actually, from around the world, and you can actually discuss wealth. You can talk about generational wealth. You can talk about investing. You can talk about deals, some of the challenges that you face in terms of that process. And I remind you, if you join the mastermind, you get access to the wealth hackers. It's the top of the tree. The immigration agents, access to the wealth weekends, access to the buyers trips, etc., etc. Do you remember the game that we played yesterday? Boy, I wanted to ask you an extremely direct question. Well, there's another little video that I've got for you. It's a video I love. It brings tears to my eyes every time I see it. But I wanted to share this video with you because a lot of people said to me over the days and whatever, and I warned you up front that you might feel overwhelmed. And just why I love this video is because just imagine yourself with regards to investing, with regards to diversification, with regards to looking after your portfolio, tax and structuring and everything. And just imagine if you had the family office, you met the family office on Wednesday, and ourselves. Just imagine if you had us in your corner doing this to help you achieve your results.
It's not even funny, dude. So, Coach, how strong is Westview this year?
A lot stronger than we are.
You already written Friday night down as a loss, Brock?
Well, not if I know we could beat them.
Come here, Brock. You too, Jeremy.
What, am I in trouble now?
Not yet. I want to see you do the death crawl again, except I want to see your absolute best.
What, you want me to go to the 30?
I think you can go to the 50.
50? I can go to the 50 if nobody's on my back.
I think you can do it with Jeremy on your back. But even if you can, I want you to promise me you're going to do your best.
All right.
Your best.
Okay.
You going to give me your best?
I'm going to give you my best.
All right, one more thing. I want you to do it blindfolded.
Why?
Because I want you giving up at a certain point when you can go further. Get down. Jeremy, get on his back. Now get a good tight hold, Jeremy. All right, let's go, Brock. Keep your knees off the ground, just your hands and feet. There you go. A little bit left. A little bit left. I bet he does. There you go. Show me good effort. That way, Brock. You keep coming. There you go. It's a good start. A little bit left. A little bit left. There you go, Brock. Good strength. That's it, Brock. That's it.
Not at the 20 yet?
Forget the 20. You give me your best. You keep going. That's it. No, don't stop, Brock. You got more in you than that.
I ain't done. Just resting a second.
You gotta keep moving. Let's keep moving. Let's go. Don't quit till you got nothing left. There you go. Keep moving. Keep moving. Keep moving, Brock. That's it. You keep driving. Keep your knees off the ground. Keep driving it. Your very best. Your very best. Your very best. Keep moving, Brock. That's it. That's it. That's it. Keep going. Don't quit on me. Keep going. Keep driving it. Keep your knees off the ground. That's it. Your very best. Don't quit on me. Your very best. Keep driving. Keep driving. There you go. There you go. That's it. You keep driving. Keep your knees off the ground. Keep driving it. Don't quit till you got nothing left. Keep moving, Brock. That's it. That's it. That's it. Keep going. I want everything you got. Come on, keep going. It hurts. Don't quit on me. Your very best. Keep driving. Keep driving. There you go. There you go.
He's heavy.
I know he's heavy.
I'm out of strength.
Then you negotiate with your body to find more strength, but don't you give up on me, Brock. You keep going, you hear me? You keep going. You're doing good. You keep going. Do not quit on me. You keep going.
It hurts.
I know it hurts. You keep going. You keep going. It's all hard from here. 30 more steps. You keep going, Brock. Come on. Keep going.
Burn.
And let it burn.
Ours are burning.
It's all hard. You keep going, Brock. Come on. Come on. Keep going. You promised me your best. Your best. Don't stop. Keep going.
Too hard.
It's not too hard. You keep going. Come on, Brock. Give me more. Give me more. Keep going. 20 more steps. 20 more. Keep going, Brock. Give me your best. Don't quit. No. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. Brock Kelly, you don't quit. Keep going. Keep going. Go, Brock Kelly. You don't quit on me. No, you keep going. You keep going. Go, Brock. 10 more steps. 10 more. 10 more. 10 more. Keep going. Don't quit. Give me yours. You can. You can. 5 more. 5 more. Come on, Brock. Come on. Don't quit. Don't quit. Come on, Brock. 2 more. 1 more.
Let's go. 50. Let's go to 50. I don't have any more.
Look up, Brock. You're in the end zone. Brock, you are the most influential player on this team. If you walk around defeated, so will they. Don't tell me you can't give me more than what I've been seeing. You just carried a 140-pound man across this whole field on your arms. Brock, I need you. God's gifted you with the ability of leadership. Don't waste it.
Coach?
Can I count on you?
Yes. Coach?
What is it, Jeremy?
I weigh 160.
Yeah, I love that video because for me, it kind of sums up what we're talking about. And, you know, for us, the mastermind is the top of the mountain. And if you want me in your corner, you know, whether it's the carrot or the stick, if you want Alex, if you want the family office, then we all work as a team to help people get results. And that's why we actually, you know, we say as long as someone's doing what they have committed to do, we'll work with them until they get the results, which is why we say guaranteed results, because we work with you until you get those results. And I want to give you an example of this. I literally got this yesterday. So no one has ever seen this before because I literally got this through yesterday from one of the mastermind members called Hendrik. He said, Scott, I trust you're doing well. Thank you for the WhatsApp. I really appreciate the time you took to write it. Some updates on my progression. After losing a substantial amount on the trade markets due to my ignorance in 2020, I decided not ever to invest again when I don't know or understand, etc. I joined the mastermind, which I consider one of the best decisions of my life. I shared with you last year that I felt stuck in taking the decision to make an investment. Long story short, I made my first investment with Mark at Calio today, which broke the investment ice for me. I'm ready now to start on the Wealth Migrate platform. My next step is to fund my account. I want to thank you for the immense value you've already contributed to my life to help me get unstuck. I really wanted to be part of the Wealth Weekend. However, the dates were set before I received the date of the Wealth Weekend. Unfortunately, I'll not be able to attend. I fully understand the principle of immersion. I fully believe in what you're doing. I consider myself a lifelong partner of Wealth Migrate. How can I reset my monthly accountability feedback to become actively involved? And, you know, my thing when I ask people is, you know, can you see yourself doing this? You know, would you like to one day be one of these people that are, and, you know, to put in perspective, you know, Hendrik joined us about a year ago. So it doesn't always happen quickly for people. And that's why I like that video with him and the, you know, motivating, and you can do it because everyone's different. They all move at different paces, but at the end of the day, you join to get a result, and we work with you to get a result. And I think that's really, really important in terms of that process. Okay, and that's why this research comes out where Harvard basically says that if you have a coach, you have a 400% chance of getting success. So, you know, do you want results, yes or no? Because if you want results, you have a 400% better chance of getting results. And then I played you this video, and I'm not going to play the whole thing again, but in the video, they went and did the research, and actually if you're in a group of like-minded people, you're going to get there 5 times quicker than if you got a coach. Now, according to me, you've got 4, I've got to get my fingers right here, you've got 4 and you've got 5. 4 times 5, so you're 4 times better off if you have a coach, and you're 5 times better off in a like-minded group of people than you are with a coach. So you're basically 20 times better off. 20 times. And what's really important is that you've got to be in the group with a group of like-minded people, with a leader that's prepared to get in the trenches with you. And if you do that, you're going to find the real rapid life and business transformation. And what's so important is that that's why Alex and I interview every single person, because we need to make sure that people that join the mastermind are the right type of people. There's the right type of energy fit. We want to understand what their needs are. We want to understand that and make sure that we can help them. Because it's very important for us to maintain and contain the container in terms of that process. And so that's why it's a by invite only process. And that's what the mastermind is all about. And I shared with you the likes of Jordan on Monday, a 55-year-old who'd worked hard for his life and he wanted to preserve his wealth. And the things that he wanted: passive income, simply and safely, diversify across countries, currencies, and assets, get effective results, get the right knowledge, wealth protection, plan B, peace of mind, accountability, be part of a family office, generational wealth, have a wealth plan, and get results. I also shared with you Victoria, an entrepreneur in her 50s, looking at generational wealth, someone who was super busy, and so she needed a streamlined investment strategy, wanted to feel empowered about her decisions, and ultimately was aiming for financial freedom. And what's so interesting is that I know on Monday you might have sat there and gone, wow, I really want that, but I don't know if it's possible. Well, hopefully after the last 5 days, you've now realized by watching lots of real people and real stories, including Cynthia yesterday, that if they can do it, just like Victoria did and Jordan did, and Cynthia's done, and many others that you've met today have done, then you can do it. I want to share with you another little video, which I think is so awesome. And again, just listen to the excitement here. And this is the excitement that I would like for you in terms of your experience and what it's like to actually be earning passive income.
Scott, can you remember when you were a little kid and it was Christmas morning and you opened your Christmas presents? Huh? Can you remember that? That's
well,
what I feel like.
I have a little kid, so I get reminded quite regularly at the moment.
I tell you what, amazing. And I only just got a few dollars back in my investments again. You know, it's the second payment I got in that I've seen on my wallet, and it's money that I didn't have to slog for. I had to think for it, but I didn't have to slog for, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's just when you start seeing your money work for you, it's just an absolutely indescribable feeling. And as a farmer now, I've got a very specific goal, which says that I need to build alternate income streams so that the weather doesn't matter. Because that's being a crop farmer, the weather matters very much, and particularly this past year. When your income for a year is only 30% of what your expenses have been, you're in a difficult position. And to be energized and as excited as what I am in that position is incredibly empowering. Thanks, Scott.
why I share that. So that gentleman's name is Derek. He joined the mastermind in October of 2022. And it was so interesting because he spent 42 years farming and he makes money by digging holes in the ground and planting seeds. And then, believe it or not, he was so excited. And guess how much money he made? Like, I don't know if anyone wants to take a wild guess. I'll let you in on a little secret. It was $6. Yeah, there you are, William. Hold on. It was $6. And I think why this is so important is that people come here and they go, Scott, I want to make $1,000. I want to make $6,000. I want to make $25,000, whatever it is. But what's so important is that once you do something and you actually achieve it, then you know anything else is possible. So he made $6. And if you can make $6, you can make $60. And if you can make $60, you can make $600. And if you make $600, you can make $6,000. And that's the benefit of being part of the mastermind and coming on this journey. And so I remind you of the aspirational ladder. You get started with the passive income challenge. Literally, you know, the idea is to get a passive income within 30 days, whether it's $1, $6, $60, $600, but it's to get started and to actually prove to yourself you can do it. If you're wanting to go and do a home study, you've got the Wealth Going Global, which is the right information. If you want to go and learn about all the different asset classes and meet the right partners, then you've got Asset Mastery. And if you want someone to hold your hand and do it with you, then basically you've got the mastermind, which is a collaboration between us and our family office. And then something that we built last year is our wealth hackers to literally help you climb the aspirational ladder with a combination between getting access to the home study courses and obviously Alex, and myself providing the weekly sessions to help you climb this aspirational ladder. Now, we had a fierce debate internally, and there's others that have added a lot of value to the session over the last couple of days. And so we have another prize winner, believe it or not. And so we have to do another drum roll. And our winner of the other grand prize who will be joining us at the mastermind is Alistair. So Alistair, congratulations. Really enjoyed all your engagement and conversations and your homework and feedback in the group and everything else. It's been wonderful watching your engagement. So congratulations to you. You'll be joining Frankie and the rest of the mastermind members. I believe that you'll probably be joining the mastermind anyway, but either way, you'll be able to get an option to come and join us. So well done to you in terms of that process. Okay, so let's get into finalizing your plan. Now, I'm not going to be giving you financial advice today, but I'm going to be sharing with you what I've learned in terms of trying to make this simple and easy for you in terms of the process. This is about putting it into practice now and everything in terms of what you need to do for practice and walk away with a plan. So I remind you, the most important thing is that you have to focus on getting the right information and getting the right partners. This is the formula. Hopefully we've indoctrinated you with it, where you diversify across countries, currencies, assets, partners, and time. And it's all about the passive income at the middle. And again, the module we're going through today, I'm going to give you the tip of the iceberg. If you want to go deeper in Wealth Going Global, there's an entire module on this time and how to build out this wealth plan in terms of what we're doing. So this module is all about timing, and ultimately it's about your portfolio construction and how you actually build it out to 85% of your total returns. The mission here will help investors design their wealth plan in terms of that process. Now, what's important here is that if you go to all the different asset classes, each one of them has a different time in terms of where you're at. And if I look here, sorry, I forgot to open this, so let me just go and get it for you quickly. If I go to Shane, what did we call that that PDF now? I've forgotten what we called it. So what we've done is we've built out a table where you have every single asset class with the sub-asset class. You got the cash on cash return, you got the cash flow timing, you got when the capital, how long the capital is tied up for, and then the total expected return. And what's important here is that actually one of our wealth hackers did this originally for us, and they kind of did about 60-70% of the task. And then I completed it with the use of ChatGPT. But you've got all the different asset classes. You've got all of the commercial real estate. You've got debt. You've got precious metals. You've got commodities. You've got collectibles. You've got crypto. You've got asset. You've got cash. You've got equities. You've got structured notes. You've got derivatives. And you've even got private equity. So everything is here. It's a wonderful cheat sheet that we built in terms of this process. And if I go back, so I mean, just at the high level, you can see that you've got deals that are kind of 12 months long. You've got 3 to 5 years. You've got 8 years plus. But can you see that cheat sheet makes life so much easier for people in terms of looking at the different deals, how long they are, what the total returns are, what one can expect from an investment? Because when it comes to timing, certain investments are 12 months long, certain investments are 3 to 5 years long, certain investments are 8 years long. And so what you actually want to do is build a portfolio where you balance it out, where you've got investments that are 12 months, you've got investments that are 3 to 5 years, you've got investments that some of them are longer term in terms of your overall process. And again, as a gift to the wealth hackers, for those of you that join the wealth hackers, we will basically give you that table, so that cheat sheet. So you don't have to go out and do it all yourself. You can literally go and look at every single asset class, and you've got everything from what do they earn, on average per year, when do they pay their quarterly distributions, quarterly, monthly, do you get cash flow, how long is your capital tied up for, and then what is your total return. I think this is one of the greatest little gifts we've got, in terms of a cheat sheet. So that is available. Shane used to give it away, and I was like, no, bugger that. This took too much work. This is only available for the wealth hackers, and obviously the mastermind members as well. So if you join the wealth hackers, you'll get access to that cheat sheet. Right. In terms of our wealth plan, what's important here is that there's a whole concept around getting your wealth plan sorted. So I don't want to go into a whole nother framework today, but this is all about your wealth plan and how you set yourself up for success. So there's 2 tools that we're going to give you today. We're going to give you your wealth plan freedom calculator, and then you're actually going to get a certificate as well. So we promised you that you would walk away with a plan. Remember, I made you a promise on Monday that we'd walk away with a plan. And now we're going to give you the tools so that you can walk away with that plan. So you're going to get the freedom calculator. And it's really interesting because if you go back to the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and if you haven't read the book, if you're a beginner and you haven't read the book, then I would recommend reading the book. But in simple terms, you've got the employee, you've got the self-employed, you've got the business owner, and you've got the investor. Now, again, just to go into this a little bit of detail, the employee is you have a job. The self-employed is you own your own job. Your business owner is you have a system and people. And then the investor is where your money's working for you. In terms of the employee, it's all about active income. You only make money when you're on the hamster wheel. It's hard work, no security, no time. In terms of the self-employed, it's large debts, insufficient funds, and stress. 95% of the people in the world live here, and they only own less than 5% of the world's wealth. And then on this side of the fence, you've got the passive income, and this is, the business owner. I don't understand the easy work because I've never figured that part out, but stability and spare time. And then you've got the investor, which is where your money's working for you. No debts, plenty of money, freedom. And again, 5% of the world. And the question we always have is no matter where you are, whether you're an employee, self-employed, or the business owner, the question is how to be an investor and how to do this like thinking of it like a global citizen so that you got access to the best opportunities around the world. You can diversify and you can earn globally diversified passive income. So I remind you of myth number 1. And myth number 1 was that I thought I had to do it all myself. I spent 14 years, my first 14 years, trying to do it all myself. I spent $8,000 paying Dolph DeRuis, who's the author of Real Estate Riches, to go to America to teach me how to buy American houses. I was sitting on the steps of the auction buying properties. And I went out and I bought 16 houses myself. And I thought, I must go on the courses. I must do the degrees. I must do everything myself. And that's when I told you that I had this epiphany moment in 2010 when I realized, actually, I didn't need to do it all myself. And it took me a couple of years to figure it out. And by 2014, we were doing everything by partnership. And it just made it so much simpler. And my strong, strong recommendation for you is that everything I'm about to share with you, you can try and do it all on your own, or you can do it through partnership. Now, there's a saying I love by Leonardo, and it said, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. And so what I'm about to share with you is actually looks very simple, but don't take into account, don't discount the fact that it's taken us 20 plus years to make it as simple as possible for you. Because what we've tried to do over the last 20 plus years is just make it simpler and safer, simpler and safer, simpler and safer. That's been our logic in terms of the process. So I love this talk by Simon Sinek, which is the golden circle. Most people are always focusing on the how and the what. How do I make money? What do I do? But what you've got to get clear on in the beginning is your why. Why are you doing it? Because why is the fuel? Why is the petrol? Why is what drives you? When you have tough times or a deal doesn't go according to plan or whatever, the why is what drives you every single day to achieve your objective. And there's lots of different reasons for people, and I'm sure you've got your own whys. But when I look at the thousands of people we've helped all over the world, some of the whys that people have is preservation of wealth. They want to protect their money. They've worked hard for their money and they want to protect it. A plan B. They don't want all their eggs in one basket. It doesn't matter whether they come from America or England or Australia or Europe or South Africa or China or India or Dubai. It's all the same thing. You can't have all your eggs in one basket. They want to have the peace of mind. They want to know that they've got a resilient portfolio that can stand the test of different, things happening around the world, be they political, be they economic, etc. And then one that's important for me certainly is freedom, and I'm sure for others, freedom might be important. And I wanted to share a story with you about freedom. And for me, I call it freedom of choice. And this story makes me very emotional because it resonates a lot for me. And I'd like to know how many other people resonate with the story of freedom. So a lot of people think about money and wealth, and they think about fast cars and airplanes and helicopters and big boats and stuff. But for me, what we're actually trying to help people do is to have freedom of choice. And a story that epitomizes this is my uncle. So about 2 years ago, my uncle, basically, he lives in Australia. I told you that already. He lives in Australia, in Brisbane. And his brother-in-law, so his wife's brother, got sick. And he lives in East London, South Africa. And he didn't have medical aid. So to get better, he'd have to go to a government hospital. Now, my brother is an anaesthetist in Cape Town. And so my uncle got hold of him and said, what are the chances of him going to a government hospital? My brother was like, he'll die. So anyway, my uncle and aunt flew out from Australia. They came on a one-way ticket. He didn't have a boss or anyone he had to ask permission from. And he flew out to East London, and they picked up the brother-in-law and they stuck him in a car because they couldn't fly to Cape Town. So they had to drive. It's about, I don't know exactly how far, 1,500 kilometers or something, 1,000 miles. And they drove down and they got to Cape Town. And when they got to Cape Town, my brother organized for him to go and see one of the private specialists. And so they went to see the specialist, and the specialist was like, look, we need to do the operation, and if we don't, he's probably going to die. But I can't help you because he doesn't have medical aid, and there's no way that we'll be able to help him. And my uncle said, don't worry, I've got it covered. And the specialist was like, no, you don't understand. Like the guy might go into ICU, he might be here for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, like this could be an unlimited check. And my uncle's like, it's fine. I've got it covered. So basically the operation went ahead. and it has a happy ending. It was a success. And 2 weeks later, or whatever, they could take him back to East London. And funny enough, my uncle's actually in East London right now with him. And for me, that epitomizes the freedom of choice, where you have the ability to make the decisions you want, to travel where you want, to live where you want, to send your kids to whatever school you want, to help who you want. And that's certainly what drives me, is to have that freedom of choice. And for me personally, that's why I share with you on my wealth plan what my why is, because I am a big believer in life. Like why go and do it all yourself when you can copy others? So my why will be different from your why. I understand that. But in the terms of wealth plan, I share my wealth plan with you because I'm the type of guy, when I did my dissertation at university, I went in the university and I said, who got cum laude last year? Who got over 80%? And they would show me the one or two that did. And I'd go and look at how they did it. And I didn't copy their content, but I copied their structure, because it's so much easier just to set yourself up for success. And I cum laude my undergrad degree, my honors degree, and I cum laude my master's in London. And that's just my philosophy. So I share the same with you. But my why, I want to have freedom to live where I want, live how I want, how I earn my income, where my son goes to school, university, where I go on holiday, basically live life unlimited. I want to be able to provide for those who I care about, like my uncle did, without constraint. Sorry, it makes me very emotional. I want to have the freedom to choose what I want to do with my time and with whom I want to spend my time with. I want to be able to contribute in a meaningful way and have a significant, purposeful impact on the planet. I want to inspire people to achieve the impossible. I want to be a dream provider. I want to be able to leave a legacy and create generational wealth for my family, those who are important to me, and a dream provider in general. So the exercise that you're all going to go through, which I would strongly recommend, is you start with your why. Simon Sinek teaches you that you always should start with your why, and then you'll go to your how, and then you'll go to your what. And so just to have a little bit of insight into us, you heard my story of my dad and what drives me and how I watched money devastate my dad and the family, and by trusting the traditional financial industry and the consequences of that, and how I decided at a very young age that I'm going to do it differently. I was programming when I was 6 years old. If you guys can remember what a Commodore 64 was and Logo, I was doing Logo at the age of 6. I've always loved the game of Monopoly, and it was like, how could we marry together technology and property? And we basically, as a team, worked on this for decades now. The wealth gap, where I grew up in this country, in South Africa, there's a massive wealth gap. And the challenge is that the rich 1% are just getting wealthier and wealthier. And everyone goes, oh, it's not fair, and we should take it away from them. It's completely wrong. It's never going to change. The only way to solve the wealth gap is to help everybody to invest like the top 1%. We got geographic problems, where you live in the world, dramatically impacts your wealth. We've got, gender issues, whether you're a male or female has a major, impact on your wealth. And also, the time of when you were born has a massive impact. And so when we embarked on it, we did the research, and 49% of the world's wealth is held in property, 49%. And of that, of the world's population, only 12.9% of the world's population has access to property. 12.9%, about 1 billion people have access to property. And of that, they're all residential property. Of that, less than 1% has access to the likes of commercial property and other quality alternative assets. And less than 1% of people are retiring at 65. And what drives us is by using technology, it's to empower everybody to invest like the top 1%. It's based on that principle by Zig Ziglar, which I've brought up many times for you already, that you can have anything you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. Our vision is to make global real estate investing as simple as a swipe of a finger, and ultimately to get it down to $1. I mean, I think we've done quite well it was at $100,000 and it's now at $10. And someone always says to me, if I invest $10, is it going to change my life? And I'm like, no, it won't. But when you start to receive a passive income like Derek did, then it can change your habits. And if it changes your habits, it'll change your life. And so who wants to do a bit of a quick work session so that you too can walk away with your own plan? Who wants a plan like I've got, where you can literally walk away with your plan before you leave today? Yep, William does. Rochelle does. Frankie does. Bug Wonders does. Okay, lots of you do. Okay, cool. So we're going to give you two resources. We're going to give you the Freedom Calculator and we're going to give you the Wealth Plan Certificate. And it doesn't take long. I'm not going to sit today but I mean, certainly today or over the weekend, you can literally go and do this. So you click on the resources. Shane has very kindly shared this with you. And look how cool this is. You got the Wealth Plan Certificate. You literally click on it. It brings you here to the Wealth Plan Certificate, and you can literally download it. And what's so awesome is you got the Wealth Plan Certificate, and you can literally go, so you can print it out and you can do it in handwriting, or you can type. Okay, so that's the first thing Shane's given you. The next one is you got the completed certificate. So, what have I done wrong there? Oh, it was in the school thing. But anyway, you've got the completed certificate. Sorry, it is the completed one. So there's my one. It's all completed. You can see what I've done if you want to kind of see how someone else has done it. And then finally, you got the Freedom Calculator. So this was built by one of our mastermind members. And you can literally go to our Freedom Calculator and you can make a copy. So it's a Google Sheet. And there you got your Freedom Calculator. So has everyone done that? Because I would recommend you do what I've just done right now. You go to the link that Shane has shared with you, and you'll have access to both the calculator and the certificate. Now, what's interesting to me is that most people out there, most companies, sell these calculators for a lot of money. Okay, and probably the certificate as well. And there's a part of me that, when I go through these days and I think, why do we give this away for free? But anyway, you're lucky. You're here 5 days in, and we're giving it to you for free. So what a mastermind member did for me was I had this all built out on spreadsheets, but it was super complicated, and they made it really easy. So hopefully you've got the tools now. Shane's given you the tools. You've got it for free. And what we basically, if you want to do it and you want someone to guide you through this whole process, then, if you join the Wealth Hackers, then you'll have access to that in terms of that process. But let's do it quickly now. There's a 4-step formula. The first one is the goal. So you need to figure out, and if you go back to here, sorry, I have to bounce between the two, but you need to figure out what is your passive income goal. So I'm just going to keep it simple for now. Let's just say your goal is $1,000 a month. Now, check how cool this calculator is, okay? You can have dollars. Like I would recommend having a first world currency as a goal if you're thinking like a global citizen. But to be honest, you can have any currency you want. And you can also see, so this exchange rate links directly with the internet. So like if you're in South Africa, as an example, you can make that rands. If you're in England, you could make that British pounds. So you can see like almost like the world reserve currency is the dollar, whether you like it or not, it's a fact. So you could do it in dollars, and then you could kind of see what it means in your currency, whatever country you come from in terms of that process. But the first thing you need to get clear on is what is your goal? What is your passive income goal that you want each and every month in terms of that process? Cool. So that's step one. Just by the way, mine is $15,000. I'm very clear on it. It's $15,000. My logic is, with $15,000, you can live very comfortably in England, Australia, America, obviously a rest of the place around the world. You're not going to be a rock star. You're not going to be flying private jets, but you can live very comfortably. So it's not necessarily my aspirational goal. I want a lot more than that, but that's my target. That's my freedom number in terms of the process. So figure out what you want in terms of cash flow. So that's step one. Step two is the formula. Okay. And this is where you figure out how much capital you need based on an average cash on cash. So let's go back to here. And now you can see, okay, so if you're not sure And by the way, you only have to fill in the white things. If you're not sure on the cash on cash, the average deal, an average good deal, is earning somewhere around 7 to 8%. Okay, cash on cash. So that's income. Okay, so if you've got $100 and you've got a cash on cash of 8%, you're going to get $8 a year. If you're not sure of the number, my strong recommendation is just go with 8. Okay, don't go too high because then you're kidding yourselves. Okay, so if you go any more than 8, I think you're kidding yourself. If you tell me you're doing crypto day trading or something, that's great. I know you can get great returns every now and again, but it's not what you'll get across 15 quality assets on average. So rather be, average, conservative, realistic, whatever word you want to use. So then it's going to tell you how much capital you need. Okay, now you might have no capital, or you might have, I don't know, some equity in a house, as an example. Okay, maybe you got some equity in your house. Okay, so that's the formula. Now, the next one, step 3, is the plan. You need to figure out how much you must invest per month for how long to achieve the goal. So this is where it's so nice because it's a Google sheet. You can't mess it up. But say, for example, you've got $200 a month that you want to invest. Okay, and you want to increase that. So hopefully every year you're looking to sort of increase the amount. And a total return of about 15% is again average. 14 or 15% is quite average. Like if you go higher than that, in my opinion, you're getting too aggressive. And if you go lower than that, you're playing like a retail investor. And hopefully after the last 5 days, you figured out that you can get on average 14 to 15%. Now, what's interesting is if I take this calculator tells me I'm in red. Okay, so I put in here 7 years. So I'm not going to be free in 7 years. What about 10 years? Oop, nope, not there. 12 years. Up, I'm free in 12 years. What about 11? Nope, the number is 12. So there's the formula. And by the way, this is after tax money. You can see that it's got a 30% tax there. So this calculator you can play around with. Now you say, I don't want 12 years. Okay, great. Well, let's say if I put in $300. And now let's say if I do 7 years. Nope, that's not good enough. 10 years. Nope, 11 years. Okay, so it's 11 years. What about if I go $400? And I think you can sort of get the sense. So there's my formula. And what that basically allows you to do is you can go, well, the current year is 2025. I am currently, personally, I'm 48. So I'll be free at 58. And what's so interesting with this calculator is that people say to me like, Scott, is this calculator 100% accurate? I go, no. It's probably 85, 90% accurate. And people go, yeah, but what about this, this, and this? And I go, guys, there's calculators out there, ladies, there's calculators out there where it can take you an entire day to fill in all the variables. Okay, and no one saw COVID coming, and then it's useless anyway. Okay, so there's no calculator in the world that's 100% accurate. I guarantee it. It's forecasting for the future. So what's important is to get a guideline. But if you're 85 to 90% accurate, it's a hell of a lot better than when most people are, which is completely in the darkness. And what this allows you to do is literally play around. And like I said to you, you either need more money and less time, or less money and more time. It's a seesaw. And your only other option, if you don't want to bring more time, or whichever way time is, you have to just add more value. So you can become an affiliate, you can find a way to make more income, you have to find a way to add more value. And if you add more value, then you don't need more time. So step 3 is the plan. And you play around with it until you get your numbers, until it goes green. I want to just look here at myth number 3 for you. So myth number 3 is that there's one great investment. And that's one thing, people say, oh, if I bought shares in Google, I'd be, wealthy, or if I bought shares in Tesla, or if I bought Bitcoin. The thing that I've learned from the wealthiest people is there's just ongoing consistency over and over and over and over again. And that's why we go to step 4, which is the result. And it's about sticking to the formula, measuring, tracking, and keeping going. So what this allows you to do is you can now go through your wealth plan, and you've got your calculator, you've got all your calculations here. You can now go through to your wealth plan, and you can basically say, like, right, my passive income goal, like in this situation, was $1,000. My average cash on cash was 8%. I commit to fund my wallet. What did we come up with again? I think it was $400. The target return was 15%. I'm aiming to invest for 10 years. The year I'll be free was 2035. I will be 58. I plan to start on the 28th of Feb 2025. My name is Scott Picken, and I can obviously print that, I can sign it, and I can get a witness. And my strong recommendation is you print it and you put it on your wall somewhere to be able to see in terms of that process. And so there you got it, 4 simple steps. And I promised you that you would walk away with here with a plan. And if you remember the block here, which was module 5, time, we've now given you the resources, we've given you the tools, we've told you how to do it, and we've given you the calculator. And if you join the Wealth Hackers, then you have the ability to turn up, basically every Friday. I'm available, and I talk people through it, and I answer questions. So it's that ongoing, because sometimes, I don't know if any of you are the same, where you're at school and you're watching your maths teacher or whatever, and you watch them do it on the board, and it all looks, oh, that looks easy. And you go home, do your homework. It's like, holy cow, that was actually harder than I thought. And then you go back and you ask your teacher the next day, or you ask your tutor or whatever. That's the environment we created in the Wealth Hackers, where today you're in class and I've shown you how to do it. But if you want the ongoing kind of support, then that's what the Wealth Hackers is all about in terms of that process. So I hope you enjoyed the calculator. It's a tool that Shane and myself built actually as part of Wealth Going Global. You can see it's this module here on time. And so if you want to go deeper, again, if you join the Wealth Hackers, you'll be able to go a lot deeper in terms of this process. As Albert Einstein said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. What are you going to do differently this year to help you achieve your results? And I wanted to share something else with you. And I know I started to embark on this on Monday. But everything we've spoken about today, and not just today, but over this week, is about assets and investing and having the right information and the right partners. And so I'm just going to sign in here to Wealth Migrate. And I wanted to kind of show you that, you don't you don't have to use our platform. You can use other platforms. To my knowledge, we're the only ones that can truly help you diversify. I'm not aware of any other platform that helps you diversify across countries, currencies, assets, partners, and time. And so what's interesting, you can go up here, you can literally have your profile, you can have it in your own name, you can have it in an offshore company, trust, whatever. You can go look at your portfolio. So I don't know about you, but I hate admin. Okay, so one of the reasons we built the system was because I just wanted to be easy. I had properties all over the place. It was a bloody disaster trying to manage them. And now everything's all in one place. It's really easy. I can go to my wallet. Sorry, if I just go back to my portfolio, I can see all my investments. I can see when I bought them, what the value is, the distributions, the target return, the projected outcome, etc. I can go to my wallet. I can literally download my wallet. It's like a bank statement. And you can see all the returns coming into my wallet. And I can basically go through and this is where all my diversified passive income is coming into one place. Then if I go, and by the way, I can manage my entire portfolio online in terms of my KYC, my AML, etc., etc. If I just go back to my wallets as well, something I didn't show you, you can withdraw your cash, you can deposit your cash, you're in complete control of your money in terms of the process. So now let's go to the fun part, which is playing global Monopoly. And right now on our platform, we've got 4 deals that are available. we've got Manhattan, which is a total return of 17% and a cash-on-cash return of 6.34%, which is the net return. And you can see that the sponsor is developed. We've got an opportunity in London, which is a private equity opportunity with a 25% return and a cash-on-cash of 4.5%. We've got a debt opportunity in Austin, which is a 9.42% total return. And then we've got an industrial opportunity in Phoenix in terms of that, in terms of the process. And good observation, Rochelle. Shane and I and the rest of the team love surprises. So Rochelle has noticed that the Manhattan deal minimum investment was $1,000. It's dropped only for today to $10. So for the people on the challenge, we always like to add value. It literally, just for today, we do it every now and again. We drop it down and people can participate in the Manhattan deal. So what I want to see from people, which deal would you like to kind of get started with? We got Manhattan. I must admit, I never in my life thought I'd be able to invest in Manhattan. We've got Carriford in London. We've got Austin, and we've got Airbag It. And I mean, William, you've already done 1,000. I mean, that's fine. I mean, the average investment is 23,000 per person. So it's not about, it's about starting. Okay, so a lot of people are saying Manhattan. So if you go to Manhattan, you can literally go in here. You can look at all the pictures and everything else. In terms of the process. Shane, please make a note, because I have asked the team and they still haven't done it. There's the video as well with Garth Wellman talking about the deal and the benefits of the deal, which needs to be added. You can go here, you can read the total returns, you can see the investment timeline, you can see the risk category in terms of value add, you can go read all about it. You can also download the deal documentation over here. So if I go to my downloads, I've got all the deal documentation that I can read through. So, our whole thing is we don't want to overwhelm people, but so that you've got all the transparency you want to be able to make the right decisions. And you can also even download a deal summary PDF, which basically takes into account absolutely everything on this page. For people that like me, that like to print stuff and be able to look at it. So let's just say now you want to invest in this deal. You can get going from $10. You literally go, I agree. You digitally sign the agreement and you go, you can download it if you want. And you go, I agree, make investment. And believe it or not, in 10 seconds, you've just seen me invest in Manhattan. Now, I want to prove a point to you because we've been talking about diversification all along. So I'm going to invest in all 4 deals. So now I'm going to go to London and I'm going to digitally sign the agreement. I'm going to go, I agree, and I'm going to make investment. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to go to Austin in America and I'm going to go and invest $10. I'm going to digitally sign the agreement and I'm going to go agree and I'm going to make investment. And then finally, I'm going to go to Phoenix. I'm going to invest in an industrial building and I'm going to go invest, digitally sign the agreement, and go, I agree, make investment. We've been talking all week about diversification, and what you've just seen me do is invest in a property deal, a debt deal in Manhattan, New York, in dollars. You've seen me invest in a private equity deal in London in pounds. You've seen me invest in a debt deal in America in US dollars. And you've seen me invest in an industrial commercial property in America in US dollars. So I have diversified across 2 countries, 2 currencies, 4 different assets, 4 different partners, and across different time. And it's at this point that when we do a live event, I expect a standing ovation. No, with all sincerity, when I know what it took us 10 years ago to get on an airplane, to fly overseas, to set up offshore structures, to open bank accounts, to buy a house, to manage the house, to manage the tenants, to deal with the hassle and the maintenance and the costs. And now literally you have the ability to go and do everything we've taught you for the last 5 days. There's not a single person on here, in my opinion, if you've got access to the internet, that can't afford $10. And on that basis, there's not a single person on here that can't take action and take advantage of everything we've taught you. Is that fair? It's a very bold statement. And one of the challenges that you've got is that now that I've shared this, you have a burden of responsibility, because you can't blame the government, and you can't blame your background, and you can't blame the school you went to, or the university, or your job, or your wife, or your husband, or whatever you tend to blame. Because now every single person, I've shared with you what the top 1% are doing. And now we've given you access. We've shown you where to get the right information. We've shown you where to get the right partners. And we've given you access to literally copy them. And even better, partner with them. And so for those of you that have said to me all week that you were feeling a little bit overwhelmed and that it's like drinking from a hose, I understand that. It's been 28 years of accumulated knowledge that I've tried to help you get through in the last couple of days. And I remind you, and I know Monday feels like a lifetime ago, but I asked you a question. What would it mean to you in 12 months or less to be earning a globally diversified passive income without any hassle or complexity? Do you believe that that is possible now? Yes or no? Great. I see lots of yeses coming through. My next question was, how would you like a system which can statistically help you get there 70% faster, safer, and simpler? And that's the wealth hackers. Because, you know, when a bird flies in a flock, it goes 70% further than a bird flying on its own. According to Deepak Chopra, if you try and do something on your own, you've got a less than 50% chance of succeeding. If you do it with a husband, a wife, a partner, a friend, you've got about a 60% chance of succeeding. But if you do it in a like-minded group, you've got a 70% chance of succeeding. Do you think there's any coincidence that the laws of nature sit at 70% and Deepak Chopra's research is at 70%, and that we've built the wealth hackers to help you have a 70% better chance to get there faster, simpler, and safer than trying to do it on your own? What about some more questions? I started off on Monday with the 7 pillars to wealth, what we call our freedom solution. And as Warren Buffett says, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you'll work till you die. Well, the first question is, now, can you see how you can make money while you sleep? Can you see how you can now own assets which are hassle-free, simple, and safe? I mean, this distribution got paid out just yesterday. I'm going to have to log in again. Oh, no, there, it's letting me in. 6,300 coming through every quarter. This big office tower. I mean, look, it's so boring. It just comes through every quarter. This one here that I showed you, you know, this one's actually paid monthly. Literally comes through every single month. I go to my transactions. Every month. $4,000. Boom, just being paid out every month. $4,000, $4,000, $4,000. What about having access to the knowledge, the top 1%? I've shown you. If you want to join at the wealth hacker level, great. If you want to join the mastermind level, even better. Because then if the mastermind level, you're going to be dealing directly with the family office and getting access to the knowledge the top 1% have. What about access to the partners? Would you agree that over the last 5 days, we've shown you how to do that? What about having some time freedom? You know, when I show you those deals paying out and you compare it, I know certainly for me, the amount of bloody time I waste on my, you know, I used to waste on my houses and management agents and maintenance and tax and structuring and all that shit. And I don't have to deal with any of that. What about diversifying across countries, currencies, assets, partners, and time? I haven't just taught you about it. I've shown you how to do it. We spent $20 million, yeah, believe it or not, $20 million building that platform, and over a decade of time. So as simple as it looks, it's taken a huge amount of complexity and tried to simplify it and make it safe for people. And then finally, what about protecting your wealth, having a plan B and peace of mind? You know, you don't have to have all your eggs in one basket anymore, whether that's one country, one currency, one asset, you know, with one partner, or even across time in terms of that process. Can we agree? And again, you don't have to say it publicly, but just think about it in your own mind. I made you a promise on Monday, and I'd like to believe that we've delivered on that promise in terms of letting you know. So I want to leave you with a gift. Who wants a gift? One of the lessons that I learned from one of the wealthiest men in the world. Who would like a gift? Okay, so I originally learned this from a gentleman called Roger Hamilton. And he said, you've got a thing called the formula for success, as it's taught in school. So what happens in school is we're taught that we must go get clarity. So what does that mean? Like, I want to learn something. Like, I don't know, I want to start a business. So I must go get clarity. I must go to school. And then after school, I should probably become a chartered accountant. And then after that, I should do an MBA because I kind of got to learn all this stuff. I'm going to get clarity around it first. And once I've got all that clarity, once I've done all those degrees and everything else, I'm going to have confidence. And once I got confidence, then I'll go start my business. I'll leave my job and I'll go start my business. I'll make commitment. I'll get going. And then finally, I'll have success. And what's so interesting is it's wrong and it doesn't work. And let me explain to you a beautiful story. So if you haven't read this book, Think and Grow Rich, this book was written by a guy called Napoleon Hill, but it was actually paid for by a guy called Andrew Carnegie. And Andrew Carnegie paid Napoleon Hill, I think it took him 25 years to write this book. And he went out and he interviewed, I don't know exactly the number, 40, 50 of the wealthiest people in the world. And this book came out in 1937, Think and Grow Rich. And there's more multi-millionaires in the world that have said that they attest their success to this book than any other book. I've read it 4 times. I've listened to it about 6 times. And every single time I listen to it, I'm like, oh, shit, I should be applying the principles. But what's important from this book is, more importantly, where did it start from? It started from Andrew Carnegie. So let's look at that formula for success, because it's a really, really interesting story. So he's a Scotsman. He was from Scotland, and he came out to America, and he said, I want to build a steel mill. And he went to the bank, and he said, I want money for my steel mill. And they all laughed at him. And so he did it differently, because if he was at school, he probably would have gone to university, and he would have got a degree in, I don't know, industrial engineering or mechanical, I don't know, whatever. And then he probably would have gone and got another one, an MBA on how to run a business. And only then would he, hopefully have tried to kind of start. But we all know that would have never worked. He was completely different. He made a commitment. He said, I'm building a steel mill. He then went to all the people that need steel, the railways and the bridges and the people building tall buildings. And he said, I'm building a steel mill. And you've got 2 choices. You can keep buying your steel from England and Wales, or you can buy your steel from me. I can make the steel 50% cheaper than they can make it in England and ship it across to America. And so you've got an option right now. You can sign a 3-year contract with me once my mill is finished and I give you steel. Or if you don't, I'm going down the road to your competitor. And so they all signed up. Once he had all the signed contracts, he went along to JP Morgan, literally JP Morgan, and he said, here are all the signed contracts. I have 3 years worth of business once my mill is finished. Lend me the money, please. And they were so impressed by the commitment he had made that they too got confidence. And so they lent him the money. They built the mill, he delivered on the steel, and the rest is history. He became the richest man in the world. And so let's look at the formula for success from the wealthy. They make a commitment. The most important thing in your head is to make a commitment. Then they get the confidence. Then they get the clarity. And finally, they get the results. And that is the formula for success. And so the question I have, and whether you want to write it in the chat box, whether you want to write it on your mirror, whether you want to make a note in your notebook, who here is going to make a commitment to themselves? I don't care where you are in your wealth journey. I don't care if you're just starting out or you're super wealthy and you're wanting to protect your wealth. Who here is going to make a commitment? Because it's that commitment which is going to determine whether you're going to be a success or a failure according to the formula for success. And for those of you that have asked me all week, what next? Then you've got an option. Where do you want to make a commitment? Do you want to make a commitment to getting started with the passive income challenge and to be earning a passive income in 30 days? Do you want to make a commitment to doing the Wealth Going Global course and learning about the right information? Do you want to make a commitment to doing asset mastery and getting access to the right partners? Do you want to make a commitment to joining the mastermind and having your hand held and working with me and the team and the family office and accelerating? Remember, you'll go 5 times faster in a mastermind. 5 times. So how valuable is time to you? Do you want the partners? Yes, there's a financial commitment, but we find when people pay, they pay attention. So we work with people that are committed to themselves, because the people who are committed to themselves are the ones that get the results. And I'm a results freak. I like to work with people that want to get results. It all starts with commitment. Or maybe you make a commitment. You say, I'm going to join the Wealth Hackers and I'm going to climb that aspirational ladder. And I'm going to turn up on a Wednesday and let Alex, hold me accountable. I'm going to get started and I'm going to work up this ladder. If you want to work with us, we've given you multiple different options in terms of a commitment and the next kind of steps in terms of that process. So I wanted to ask you a question. And for me, the question is, at a wealth hacker level and at a mastermind level, we're always looking at adding value and how we can actually keep enhancing. So I did that one on the top 10 things for personal development. We've got time management, we've got productivity. I did one on productivity. We've got the future of technology, the 16 mega trends you need to know. There's a whole bunch of them. And so these masterclasses are things that we are doing all the time. And I've got a little gift for you, which I only thought about last night, and I haven't even okayed with the team, so I'm probably going to get into trouble with Shane and Alex. But those that join the Wealth Hackers today, and only today, if you don't join today, you're not going to get access to this. But we're doing our Wealth Weekend next weekend, and we've got incredible speakers coming in. We've got our mastermind members coming in, and it's a live event. And so we don't tend to stream live events because we want to just make a bespoke and unique opportunity for the people that are in the room. We've got so many mastermind members now that are all over the world, literally, that a number of them have said, Scott, look, I can't get there physically for whatever reason, but I desperately want access to the information. And so as of just yesterday, and this literally happened yesterday afternoon, I've managed to source and secure the technology to allow us to stream the event. We've never done it before. Every Wealth Weekend we've ever done, we recorded the one last time, but we've never actually streamed it. This will be the first time we've ever streamed it. And anyone that joins the Wealth Hackers today will get access to the streaming. And you must join on the annual subscription, but you will get access to the streamed Wealth Weekend next weekend, which we've never done before. So it's brand new. It's completely unique. Obviously, if you join the mastermind, you'll get access to that. Ideally, I know kind of lastminute.com, but maybe if you're really serious, I would change my plans, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week, and I'd get on an airplane and come and join us. The opportunity will be incredible. And to put in perspective, maybe I should show you quickly just what we're going through in case you want to see what we're going to do. So let me just take you through. Actually, it's sort of behind the scenes because no one's even seen this. But let me take you through what we're going to be doing. So we're starting at 4 o'clock on Wednesday. It's the power of diversification in a rapidly changing world. We then move to, so we've got a lot of kind of group sessions into activity. Then Corin's going to be taking us through resilience, developing uncertainty capabilities. Then we're going to have a panel discussion around global diversification, trends and opportunities. That's between myself and the family office. Then we got a dinner. Then on the Thursday, we're diving deep into wealth strategies. So we got a keynote from Garth on creating resilience, balancing risk and return in uncertain times, diving into strategies for managing volatility and ensuring portfolio strength. We've then got some breakout sessions, one of them alternative investments, private equity, crypto, and beyond, that Garth's taking us through. We're then crafting your personal diversification blueprint. That'll be taken through by Anthony. We've got interactive case studies. We've got hot seats where people can literally ask questions for themselves. And then we've got a fireside chat between Karen and Bianca, which is all around the Enneagram. So they've taken the Enneagram wealth to a whole nother level. They've actually trademarked it in terms of how people could participate in terms of this process. And then on Friday, it's we've got a session on building legacy wealth, so going beyond diversification. We've got two sessions, one on tech-driven wealth strategies, and then the emotional side of wealth, overcoming blocks with the Enneagram. We've got a panel discussion on diversification, the myths, the mistakes. I've just got a guest speaker to join us. She's an incredible lady. Her father was very, very wealthy, and she's, you can fool, fucked, whatever word you want to use, sorry for swearing, but by money, a personal journey unwittingly shaped by money, the lessons learned, and how to succeed with multi-generational wealth. So she has trained with some of the best people around the world on how to set your children up for success with money. We've got another workshop. This is still my behind-the-scenes agenda. And then we've got an energy session, which Susanna's actually taking us through, which I'm very, very excited. And then we'll finish off with closing remarks and farewell networking, etc. So that's what's happening Wednesday evening, Thursday, Friday. And if you join the Wealth Hackers, you'll be able to stream that along with the rest of the mastermind members. So that's my gift to you. It's a crazy, crazy gift. I get it. I only finalized the technology literally yesterday. So we started off on Monday, and I told you, just by the way, is anyone excited about that? Is it just me that's excited? Like, I love getting together with like-minded people. It's an incredible opportunity to get together with family office members and different people. And I mean, it's just the most amazing 2 or 3 days. You can go read all the testimonials of people that have been on it. And yeah, if it's something of interest to you, then I would strongly recommend that you join the Wealth Hackers. And obviously the Wealth Hackers will also get access to the recordings in terms of that process. I know, Alan, you're coming, so I'm really looking forward to seeing you and you being part of that session. Okay, so hopefully over the last couple of days, you've seen unconscious incompetence. You know, you're probably sitting somewhere now around conscious incompetence, where you kind of realize what you don't know. Some of you might be sitting at conscious competence. You're like, okay, cool, that was valuable. Or maybe you've done this once or twice, and you're like, cool, this is all making sense now. And ultimately, the goal is to get to unconscious competence and to mastery. And it's interesting because Amir said, your network is your net worth. You know, for me, Amir, I always put myself in the room where I'm the dumbest, poorest person. So I honestly believe that, because if I can put myself in that room, then, you know, I can only grow. And so, you know, I strongly recommend it. I know it's lastminute.com, but if someone was to say, hey, look, this makes perfect sense for me, then figure out a way to join the mastermind, get on an airplane, and come join us. Okay, another investor, Micheline, actually known Micheline for a long time. This is a really interesting story. So Alex worked with her, and she, you know, she literally had known us for like 10 years. Anyway, and Alex finally helped her and got her started, and she started investing. I've got some good news though. We got one more grand prize. And as I said to you, Shane and I and Alex went through this last night, and there were just too many people that had contributed too much, and we wanted to recognize them. So who's it going to be? Who will be our third and final grand prize winner? And it's Noma. So I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Noma. But congratulations to you. We've loved your energy in terms of the process. And yep, it's you. And I think in terms of what you've put in and the energy and everything, I really appreciate it. So you two will be joining the other two, Alistair and Frankie, in terms of the next mastermind session, in terms of the process. Okay, so we met Jordan on Monday. And I showed you his needs and wants, and I asked if you resonated with them, and I said, if you do, you're in the right place. We met Victoria, and I showed you their needs and wants. And I said, if you resonate with them, then you're in the right place. And I want to share with you a little video that I did with a guy called Abdul. So this guy's in his early 70s. He's the auditor of the Auditor General. So he's a chartered accountant. He's the auditor of the Auditor General. And when he joined us, I was like super nervous. I was like, oh my word, like we got the bloody Auditor General coming in. He's the most incredible guy. I did this interview with him. He's part of our mastermind. He adds so much value to the mastermind. He was on our previous Wealth Weekend. He added so much value to the Wealth Weekend. And he's a wealthy gentleman, but he wanted to protect his wealth and he wanted to diversify outside of the country. And I really want to share this with you because there's so many valuable insights that Abdul shares. And so enjoy this video. And then when I'm finished playing this video, I'm going to share with you a gift that you can't get anywhere else. And it's my thank you for your time with me this last couple of days. So let me share with you Abdul Pachi. And let's get that video going. So Abdul, thanks for joining us. I know that you've just had an operation, so I really appreciate you jumping on and joining us and sharing. Tell us just a little bit about yourself. You've got a fascinating story of your background and accounting and auditing and everything in between. I'd love to know, like, just people to understand who you are. Oh, hang on. We need to unmute you, Abdul. Did you just unmute yourself?
Yeah, there we go.
Awesome. Got you.
Thank you, Scott. Yes, indeed, I had my episode of surgery. They put 8 implants in my mouth.
Oh, wow.
And I thought initially it was going to be a walk in the park, and it proved otherwise. But anyway, we're here to talk. Okay, for 3 days, I could not even say a word. But anyway, we're here.
Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing your experience with everyone, because I deeply appreciate it.
Okay. In terms of, the brief you extend to me, I, again, with pleasure, share. And I think just a little I covered, that you covered now towards the end when you say commitment. But commitment can only come from belief. If you don't believe in anything, you can't commit to anything. So that belief normally is either a dream or a vision. So in my case, I learned fairly early in my life that auditing, I'm an auditor. Auditing is an extremely boring profession, and you need to have excitement in your life. So I've never divorced myself from the entrepreneurship of it. So the only person I really worked for in my life is that firm that trained me to become what I am. After which, when I got my CASA, the Chartered Accountant in South Africa, I opened my own office. And for the first year, my turnover was less than my salary for a year. But that same firm that I started is now 40 years old and responsible for what I am, who I am, and what I have. So one needs to have the commitment, and one also needs to have the tenacity and the wherewithal to stay the course. And that comes from that belief, that absolute belief that you're going to succeed.
It's so what you just said there. Sorry, I just want to butt in, but I just want to reinforce what you just said there. Because we're all going to have dark days. We're all going to have dark weeks, dark months, and even dark years. But if you've got that belief to keep going and you've got a clear goal in mind, it's only a matter of time until you get there,
Correct. And really, that is what it is. And the universe takes care of the rest, really, believe me. But if you focus, you know what you want, and you go for it, you will achieve it. And I'm a living example of that. In my little life journey from opening up my own auditing practice, the firm today audits the Auditor General of South Africa in terms of doing pre-issuance reviews, etc. So, I mean, that's quite a way to come. The point I'm trying to make is that on the entrepreneurial side, I was introduced to property. And the first property transaction I ever had was Newfields, way back in the 2005. Telkom was selling off land. And one of the pieces of land they were selling off was their trading center in Brackenfell, Cape Town, which was some 35,000 square meters of land.
Wow.
I did my homework, okay, checked what the square meter rate is for land, and quickly I realized that this is the biggest piece of industrial land in the area. And I said, well, we must win this. So I don't have money. I partnered with 2 other individuals, and I said, right, we're going to go for this. And they supported. We then made at that time, the price was 285 rands going rate in the market. But because we want to win, I made a few sums and I said, no, we must go in at 450 rands a square meter. And we won. And then we looked at who was the next or the second guy. There was at least 100 and some odd rands difference between us and them.
Wow.
And my partners weren't very impressed with me. But,
within
and within a period of a year, property in the area escalated to 800 rands a square meter.
Wow, so double.
And Telkom almost double. And Telkom, being what Telkom was, they dragged their feet in terms of giving us transfers. So we're having a free ride. Eventually, I was approached by another property developer who was doing mini factories. And he offered me for 2/3 of the land. You're going to give me 850 rands a square meter.
Sure.
I said, great, I'll take that. Okay, so I was going to spend 17 million with Telkom. A deposit of 1.7 million is the deposit. And he was going to pay me 21 million for what he wants. So I got 4 million rands worth of profit. With the 4 million, and I'm getting 12,000 square meters of land for free. With that, I was the first to build a self-storage facility in the area, which obviously cost me for free. I eventually, after, I don't know, I sold it 3 years ago. I sold that same facility for 56 million to Storage, the listed company.
Sure. And you earned the income all the way through as well.
Correct. So that is what one is saying. And I think, in other words, I may not have known the storage business, but there was sufficient detail on the internet that made me aware that what is happening in the world is that we live in smaller and smaller spaces, but we are generally hoarders. So I developed the concept of, here is a hotel for your goods. And that place filled up within 2 years.
Wow. And it's so interesting, just to reiterate a couple of things you said there. So, there's a lot of people that be on here like, I got no money, I can't do it. It's like, no, but you just said you had no money, but you got the partners in and got the deal done. And I mean, I told the story earlier, my first development was exactly the same. So, it's just an awakening and an awareness for everyone on that. The second one that I think is important is that you took a sector that was new, but you did the research and you were like, right, this is future proofing. This is where the world's going. So we talk a lot about trends and fundamentals. And it was like, right, this is going to work. And then the third thing, which you sort of dropped it right at the end there, but most people, I want to make sure they heard it, is that how do most people make money in property? It's by selling to a listed company, because listed companies don't like getting their hands dirty. They like just to buy assets that are working and are performing and the income's coming in. So Abdul and his partners did the hard work. They owned the building. It's called seasoning the rent and all that sort of stuff. I won't get into fancy terms, but in simple terms, it's just making sure the rent is stable. And then they sold it on to a REIT, a real estate investment trust, or a property fund, or something that's listed. who has all the money but doesn't want to get their hands dirty. And what Abdul's just explained is what I taught you a couple of days ago in the value chain of real estate. Like literally, that's the best way to do it in terms of that process. So Abdul, let me ask a question to you in terms of it. So you've been very, very successful in property in your country. I mean, you happen to live in South Africa, but it could be anyone. It could be a German living in Germany, you know, and because obviously you know the market, you understand the market, you're an accountant by background, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But you went and decided to sign up for Wealth Going Global, you know, to try and, you know, I don't know, solve a problem. What was that problem for you, and why did you sign up for Wealth Going Global?
Scott, like I said to you at the beginning, I have this wealth. It's all localized. I have no exposure anywhere else on earth. Okay, so the catchy phrase from your side was going global, or diversified income going global. Now that appealed to me. In other words, yes, I may be rich in this country. What happens if I'm outside? There's all types of restrictions in terms of the transfer of my wealth, my assets, wherever I may be on earth. So that appealed to me. And I really, when listening to your you know, the initial thing you sold to me, I forget now what it was, Wealth Going Global, program. It took all of 5 months, is that, or 5 weeks? Okay, and that really opened an opportunity or a process for me in terms of engaging in diversifying my wealth. And I must say, although I have the brains to think that out, why must I do that? Yeah, you're giving it to us on a platter. So we follow that process, and yes, we engage, and yes, we will get exposed. We have obviously since did do an investment again in property. Property is the economics I understand. It makes sense to me. Okay, and we invested in that. And there are 2 more potential transactions on the table. Hopefully, I'll be able to partake in those as well. And yes, what I got as a product from the initial course was what is referred to as a diversification plan, where again, one sets objectives, that becomes your dream, you commit to that, and now roll it out. Yeah. Surely it won't happen next week, but as long as it happens, I think you're on the right road. And that's the path I've chosen to take. And thanks to you, Scott.
Awesome, Abdul. Well, you know, one of the things that I just want to highlight and congratulate you for as well is that a lot of people have analysis paralysis. And if I take the journey over the last couple of months, you know, you did the course, you know, something obviously resonated, you enjoyed it, you joined the mastermind. You know, between Alex and I know you like face-to-face. So, you know, Alex came to see you and you invested, you know, and actually you've already earned your first passive income, like all in the space of, I don't know, 4 months, basically 4 or 5 months.
That's
I don't know
right.
exactly, but call it 6 months if you want. Like, I don't mind, you know, in terms of that process. And I just wanted to kind of give people a feel that, again, when someone's prepared, like, and I love your word belief, when they've got the belief, they've got the desire, like, and they're prepared to take action, like, stuff happens quite quickly in the process. You know, it's sort of, as you said, the universe conspires to get behind you and make it happen. So I just wanted to say, like, well done to you, because the reason I asked you to come and share with people today is that often people sit here and they go, no, it sounds too good to be true, or like, I don't understand, or, you know, maybe I can't do it or whatever. And I've purposely each day tried to bring someone to say, well, look, here's a real person with their own real life and real challenges and real whatever. And in your case, a huge amount of experience as well. Like, I mean, you know more about South African property and particularly industrial and storage and everything than I've ever learned, you know, and so that's the beauty. We don't have to know everything. Like, we can collaborate with each other. I mean, I've even joked with Abdul, not joke, quite serious actually. I'd love to get him onto the investment committee. I think his knowledge is amazing and can add massive wisdom to you know, us and looking at opportunities around the world, you know. But that's the power of partnership, you know.
Yeah, certainly, Scott. And the other part is obviously one of the things you alerted us or reminded myself is that if you do things in teams, it becomes easier. Collective wisdom is better than your own limited and and parochial type of ideas. So that's also something I quite enjoyed, in a sense that here's a deal, this is how it's being presented, it resonates with me, but it's thought through by others that I can relate to.
Yeah.
And that's also key, in a sense that we always can't believe that we understand everything. But in a team, each one has his good points and he knows what he's good for. And you put all of those together, you will end up maybe with a success. But if you don't have that, maybe we'll never get to success.
Yeah. It's people, a bunch of people are saying, inspiring story, love the collective wisdom, amazing. So thank you so much. I got two last questions for you, Abdul. My first question is, I get asked the question all the time, is it too late? You know, I'm 55, I'm 60, whatever it is, whatever age people associate with being too late. And they say, it's too late for me, I can't do it. And one of the things I'm so impressed with you, and again, you don't have to show your age if you don't want to, but the point being is that your mindset and your thinking is like, you know, a 20-year-old, okay? And I mean that with the greatest, no, because my point is, you know, age is just a number, you know, and it's never too late. And I'd love to just ask you the question, what would you say to someone that says, no, you know, I'm 65, it's too late? Like, what would you say to them?
Well, I'm beyond that. And it's never too late. The only time when you're late is when you're late. You're dead.
Yeah.
Up until then, you have a purpose on this earth, perform it.
No, brilliant, brilliant.
And that's part of that belief that we're talking about. You must believe, the first thing you must believe in is yourself and that lease of life that you have in you. Practice it. Enjoy it.
That's brilliant, man. Abdul, my final question, which I think you might have just taken out of my mouth, I was literally going to go, so what would be your final words of wisdom for people? And I think you might have just given it, but I don't know if there's anything you want to wrap up with, you know, for people that are sort of, they're here, they've come and sat, they're on the fence, whatever it is, you know, what any sort of ideas or thoughts that you want to give them?
I think we all need to be thankful and grateful that we're alive. Okay, and then we need to understand the purpose of our life. And really, I'm a firm believer in that we've put on this earth to create values. The ingredients for the creation of any value or all values is your time, your energy, and resources. Define the value to be created, and you'll be able to define the resources necessary for its creation. It's a formula. You can use it in any sphere of your life. It works.
Wow.
You want to know further about it? You can come have more chats with me. And I will also, like you, I love teaching because I believe the best way to learn is to teach.
Yeah, well, it's so interesting. You know, Abdul and I didn't even prepare for this. And you've been incredible, dude. Like, literally, the best way to learn is to teach is fantastic. And I tell you what, Shane, I'm going to resign and Abdul can take over the rest of the presentation. No, that was brilliant, mate. Thanks so much for your time. You know, as I said, just come out of hospital and I'm sure, I mean, I'm blown away by what you shared. I'm just thinking to myself, right, I'm going to listen to that recording again. I need to write down that formula. That was amazing. So thanks so much for your time. That was incredible.
My pleasure, Scott.
What did you think? Amazing man, huh? So one of the real value adds of our mastermind. Really love learning from him. Okay, so another real person, real story. Hopefully you're getting a feel for the different people, different experiences, different needs, different wants in terms of that whole process. So remember the little exercise that we've had, you know, on getting that coach to help you train daily. I do remind you of the mastermind, and the reason that I've showed Abdul just gives you an idea of the type of characters and people that we've got. And, you know, when we're having conversations, it's so inspiring to be able to talk with great people. And we've got the one lady's the ambassador to Switzerland. You know, the other lady's HR director of one of the biggest banks. And then, as I said, we've got farmers and teachers. You met Cynthia yesterday and whatever. So amazing, eclectic group of people. And just by the way, for the ladies, something that I've noticed in the last 6 months is just the amazing group of powerful ladies that have joined us, which is phenomenal. that are running their own lives, running their own businesses, etc. It's really cool. So the mastermind principle consists, and by the way, I told you about this book. So in this book, they basically went through, and there were 13 things that you had to do, and number 10 was the power of the mastermind, the driving force. The mastermind principle consists of an alliance of two or more minds working in perfect harmony for the attainment of a common definite objective. No two minds can come together without a third invisible force, which may be likened to a third mind. When a group of individual minds are coordinated and function in harmony, the increased energy created through that alliance becomes available to every individual in the group. And the story I like to tell is Russell Brunson. You know, he spends $250,000, or sorry, his mastermind is $250,000. And the reason he does it, he says, I have access to learn anywhere. And the only thing I do now is be part of masterminds. If I want to learn anything, I either run my own mastermind or I join a mastermind. And so it's not my opinion. It's been going on for centuries. But now people have access to it in terms of that process. And I also gave you what Richard Branson said when he started his career. He quickly realized the community means everything. Having a mentor like Sir Freddie Laker, when I decided to start Virgin Atlantic, was critical to our success. If you're an entrepreneur, one of the best things you can do is don't do it alone. And it's the same for wealth, same for investing. That's the 9 steps. If you don't want to work with us, no problem, but screenshot it because you know that's what the wealthiest people are doing. And whether you like it or not, that's what you need to do. It's literally the 9 steps to create generational wealth. If you want to join us, you've got the link in terms of that process. So I want to finish off. I promised you a gift. And what's going to happen on Monday is you're going to think, oh, it's all set up. I know what to do. And this is the theory, all the little puppies eating in a row. But actually kind of Monday hits you, life hits you in the face, your job, your boss, your kids, your husband, your wife, and it's a bit chaotic, basically. And that's why, you know, I understand what people are feeling, you know, overwhelmed, don't know where to start, information overload. You know, I need to know what to do. It seems like a mountain to climb. I know 97% of people will fail because they don't take action, but I don't want to be one of them. I want to make a plan, take action, and get results. And so I want to kind of leave you with a gift to help you get results. And the problem with most training is there's no accountability, no monitoring, short-term feel good, failure to implement, lose focus and effectiveness. You know, what then? Well, you got to do another course. We've spoken about this lots and lots and lots. And the only way to learn a skill is through repetition. So you do the same thing over and over again, repetition, 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 which is why we've got the Wealth Hackers. It's why we got the Mastermind, to allow people to have repetition over and over again so that this becomes an ingrained and conscious thing and mastery in terms of that process. So I want to give you a gift. And it's time to collaborate, and it's really, really important. So I was at that event in 2010, like I've told you, and Tony Robbins said, look, you're probably feeling, you know, all of those things that I had on the screen there was how I was feeling. And he said he wants to give us a gift, which is called creating lasting change. And it's the science of success to be able to succeed. So I had the privilege, believe it or not, of actually working with Tony Robbins. And I'll talk about that a little bit just now. But he trained me personally. I went into business with him. He trained me personally. Another guy called Chet Holmes trained me personally. And 10, 15 years ago, he gave us this program, the Creating the Lasting Change. And I'm going to share the same gift with you. But before I share that gift, I wanted you to make some commitments for yourself. So there's that saying in life, you know, how do you eat an elephant? Well, one bite at a time. And so just take 2 minutes and write down, what is your one biggest takeaway from the last 5 days? So you can write in the chat box if you want. You can write on a piece of paper. I don't mind. But just write down, what is your one biggest takeaway? Because it's really important. And what I'm doing now, before I give you the gift, and then we'll wrap up, is I want you to synthesize and bring it all together. What is your one biggest takeaway? And this is that whole saying, simplicity is power. Trevor said, regret not starting sooner. James said, I have a path to protect my family. Rochelle said, biggest takeaway, right knowledge, right partners. Namusa said, working with a mentor will take me far. Bagwanda said, Walt Migrate is partner for life. Joanna said, the power of partnership. Samsung said, commitment. Sylvia said, no excuse not to do this. Noma said, Mr. Abdul said it too. I don't have to wreck my brain trying to figure out. You and the team have already done it. Sylvia, understanding of diversification of wealth and the way forward. Kabiso, never too late to start. Alistair, Zig Ziglar, it's always better to work with others. Benson, Namusa, taking action. Karen, how do you eat an elephant? Just start. That is my motto all my life. Frankie, wealth isn't about making money. It's about strategically spreading risk and multiplying income streams. Maggie, never too late. Rochelle, Karen, exactly. Natalie, right partnership, stronger together. Steve, the capability to set my future and following generations. Alan, to do what you trained us in the last 5 days. Joanna, consistency. Renal, the right community offers the needed support and propels you forward for better success. Brilliant. Thank you so much for all of those. Shane, could you do me a favor and screenshot them? Because it'd be very valuable to be able to come back and look at them. So my second question for people is, what is the one commitment you're going to make? You don't have to put it publicly. You can if you want. But just consciously in your own head. And by the way, there's so much power in having a pen and writing it down. What is the one thing that you're committing to yourself, to the universe? Put it out there publicly if you want. Put it on a WhatsApp group to your husband or wife. If you say it to someone else, then you've got far more chance of succeeding. But what is the one commitment that you're going to make to yourself? To take action, to get started on the 30-day challenge. Just do it, to make changes, follow through. Invest in global property, register fund wallet and join Wealth Hackers. Commitment, complete the wealth plan, follow the wealth plan, consistent investments and learning. Consistency is key. Invest now, take action, climb the ladder. So brilliant. Thank you to everyone that's writing that down. This is not for me, it's for you. And then the second thing is that today or this weekend, write down what is your plan and your deadline. Like if you say you're going to do the wealth plan, by when? And what's your deadline? What is the order of things? You don't have to do 50 things. What's the next thing you need to do? Do one thing and then do the following thing and then do the following thing. And only focus on the first thing until you've done it. And then, if you want to join the school community, we've given you the link. Go and work together and kind of see what other people have to say. And better still, if you want, go and find an accountability partner. If you join the Wealth Hackers, we've actually got a group called Accountability Partner. In the mastermind, we try and facilitate people to get accountability partners. It's amazing when you've got someone that can help you. Now, just by the way, you might want to screenshot this page because I learned this from Tony Robbins. You go to a 5-day event, it's all exciting, you feel a little bit overwhelmed, you're not quite sure what to do next. And he literally said, this is what you do. Before you leave, write down the biggest takeaway, write down the one commitment. And in the next day or two, literally get clear. What is your plan and deadline? What are the order of things you're going to do? Only focus on the first thing. Join a group of people so you can work together and find yourself an accountability partner. And that's it. Now, I promised you a gift, and I know I need to wrap up now. So this Creating Lasting Change, I had the privilege of starting a business with Tony Robbins called Business Breakthroughs. So they had Business Breakthroughs International, and I got the rights for Africa, which was Business Breakthroughs Africa. And believe it or not, this is a much younger Scott Picken, but there was Scott Picken, Chet Holmes, and Tony Robbins. Most of you, I'm sure, have heard of who Tony Robbins is. He's one of the most successful coaches in the world. He was named by Accenture as one of the most 100 influential leaders in the world. Chet Holmes doubled the sales of 50 Fortune 500 companies. So the Fortune 500 companies, the top 500 companies in the world. He used to work for Charlie Munger, who's Warren Buffett's business partner, and he doubled the sales of 50 of their Fortune 500 companies, which is unbelievable. And they formed a business. I got to partner with them, and they literally personally trained me in this. So you've got the 7 steps to maximum impact. You've got the keys to leadership. You've got the 6 human needs. You've got the skill of decision making. You've got the formula for happiness. And you've got a scientific way to get results in terms of that process. So this was a program that Tony Robbins started with Creating Lasting Change. And then when I got trained by them in all 6 of these steps. And so I put a program together after being trained by them. Now, you could easily pay $50,000 for this because that's what I paid. So I paid $50,000 to go to Fiji, to spend time with them, to be in the proximity, to be able to arrange a business with them, and then to get personally trained by them. I'm not going to charge you $50,000 to give you this gift. You could pay $15,000. You know, that's what I paid to go to Vegas and to be at Business Mastery 1. And I'm not going to charge you $15,000. To be honest, $997 is what people would normally charge for a course like this, with literally access to some of the best trainings in the world. But I'm not going to charge you $997. And my question to you is, what do you think I should charge you for creating lasting change to help you synthesize everything you've learned? And it's literally the science to success. It's hard to take everything you've learned and succeed. You know, how much value would that be to you? Not just from myself, but literally from Tony Robbins and Chet Holmes themselves. Alistair says there's not a price. Anyone else? Anyone else? I'm going to have a sip of water in the meantime. No one else is offering a price. Come on, you're not playing along. It's nearly Friday afternoon. We're supposed to have some fun. Anyway, the bottom line is I'm going to give it to you for free. And the only thing that I'll ask for in return is an ethical bribe. And why I say it's an ethical bribe is that we want a testimonial. So if you enjoyed yourself, and even if you didn't enjoy yourself, you've seen that all the way through, we talk about real people and real stories. So if you give us a testimonial on Trustpilot, we will give you access to creating lasting change. And if you make us a video, and some people don't like making videos, but Shane's built an incredible little piece of technology where I just ask you 3 questions. And anyone who's ever done an interview with me knows that it's actually pretty easy. Because I literally ask you a question, you don't even have to think, you just answer the question, and it creates a little video. Then we'll take $150 off one of your purchases if you get involved in something. So that's our gift to you. It's our ethical bribe. And the reason being is that people don't like, generally taking time to do testimonials. So our philosophy is we'll give you something of value, significant value in my opinion. Cost me $50,000 plus to get it. And in return, you'll give us, a testimonial, which if we're going to change the world and if we're going to help everybody invest like the top 1%, the more real people with real stories is the impact that we have in the world. So that's my gift to you. I want to finish off and remind you of how we started on Monday. People get their musts and not their shoulds. They get what they tolerate. So what should you be doing? When you learn something, you're going to go through this evolution of getting the theory, and then you're going to start practicing, and then finally you're going to be able to do it as part of mastery. My strong invitation is that you go through that. We spoke about the 3 types of people. The dabblers are long gone. The stressors are probably here and still stressing, but hopefully now you've all committed to mastery in terms of that process. And so I want to finish with a little game for you. And who wants to play a game? So this game is a game that Shane came up with. And what I want you to do is to have some fun. So I want you to think of 1 or 2 words, and don't write them down yet, but we're all going to write them down at the same time. And it's, what did you think of the diversification challenge? So get ready to post in the chat, but don't post yet. We're going to have a little bit of fun. And the whole idea is we want to blow up the chat. And so on the count, I'm going to go 3, 2, 1. And on the count of 1, type in your words and let's see what happens. So what did you think of the challenge? 3, 2, 1, go. Awesome. So thank you for all the words coming through. This is Shane and I acting like my son at 13 and just having fun. You can't always work hard all the time. So thank you for all the brilliant comments. I really appreciate it in terms of that. If you want to join us, and specifically if you want to add value to others, Zig Ziglar, you can have anything you want if you help enough other people get what they want. So if you want to help other people, join our affiliate. It's free, and you can add value to others, and by adding value to them, we can pay you in terms of that process. Your action steps for today, your silver is finish your wealth plan, develop a plan for diversifying your investments, considering your financial goals and risk tolerance. finalize your diversified investment action plan, including specific steps you'll take. Take action. Take one concrete step towards diversifying your portfolio and share your key takeaway with the group. So those are your silvers, and your gold is do a testimonial and get the creating lasting change. If you still don't know what to do, which hopefully you do by now, but if you don't, jump on a call, chat to one of our team. We'd love to help you, get started. It's all about diversified passive income. And whether you're wanting to get started with $6, $600, or $1,000, or $6,000, or $25,000, whatever the number is, sit down with one of the team. Let's understand where you're at, and we can help point you in the right direction. Join the community. It's there, as long as the internet exists, we will keep it going. You can go and engage. There's 1,600 other people that are on there that are all about diversified passive income. And again, the formula is the right information and the right partners. This is how you do it. You diversify across countries, currencies, assets, partners, and time. And I got to ask for people, what's the plan now? What do you do going forward? Well, there's two sides to the fence. On the one side, you've got learning, which basically means if you give us a testimonial, we'll give you the creating lasting change. You can join the Wealth University. It's free. You can join the Wealth Hackers, which hopefully today we've given you a whole bunch of reasons to join and made it a bit of a no-brainer. You can join the Mastermind, which is the top of the tree. And you can, if you're not sure what to do, you can jump on a discovery call. On the investing side, you can get started with the Passive Income Challenge, and you can go on the platform like I showed you and start investing. So yeah, if you want to screenshot that, that's everything in one page, literally to make it simple and easy for you in terms of the next steps. Again, you've got two options. You can kind of be on the one side of the fence of anxiety and frustration with I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have knowledge. Or you can be on the other side of the fence with freedom and peace of mind and wealth protection and plan B and everything you want. And it's get what you want, get the knowledge through partnership, and get the time that you want. These are the next steps. If you want to join the Passive Income Challenge, you can go learn from Wealth Going Global, which is the right information. You can go do Asset Mastery, which is the right partners. And you can do the Mastermind, which is, the partnership with the family office. And if you want to climb the aspirational ladder, the Wealth Hackers is there. Just imagine yourself 12 months from now. Imagine yourself 12 months from now. If every month you were working on countries, currencies, assets, partners, time and time management, mindset and strategic thinking, execution and accountability, investing and review, where would you be 12 months from now? It's the 28th of February right now today. Where would you be by the end of the year if every month you had the repetition of going through those different things? And so, as I finished off every day, money won't create success. The freedom to make it will. Nelson Mandela. And there's a little video here, and I hope it plays. Let's see. Let me actually see if I can find it quickly. I'll play it for you properly. Okay, I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it through the PowerPoint. Hopefully, it works.
I have walked a long walk to freedom. It has been a lonely road, and it is not over yet.
The journey of wealth is a lonely journey, and it's a long walk to freedom. And my invitation to all of you is come on that journey with us. We ask you to give us a testimonial, whether it's a written one or a video one. If you've joined and enjoyed the last couple of days this week, I know that Shane and Alex and the team and myself truly pour our heart and soul into this. And one of the things that I'm most grateful for in life is that I get to live my purpose and my passion in terms of empowering everybody to invest like the top 1%. So thank you for giving us that gift of your greatest asset, which is your time. And I hope that it has been valuable to you. If you're sitting on the fence and you're not sure from the Wealth Hacker perspective, I do remind you of the bonus that I literally chucked in today. We only sorted it out yesterday afternoon. And if you join the Wealth Hackers, I have put the agenda for the Wealth Weekend, or not the agenda, the brochure, in the WhatsApp group. So it's in the VIP group and in the WhatsApp and in the general group. You can go and look at the brochure. But if you join the Wealth Hackers today, then you'll get access to the Wealth Weekend streaming and all the recordings. And if you join the mastermind, then you'll get to, maybe come and join us live, or certainly be able to join the streaming as well. Okay, let's finish off. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I want to share with you a little gift. It's my final gift. And hang on, I've just got to get my wallet here. So for the Wealth Hackers, you'll all get access to this gift. But it's what we call our wealth code. And the day I started my business in 2004, my business partner gave me a little piece of paper, which I keep in my wallet. Here's my wallet. And if you go to the Wealth Hackers, under that cool stuff, you can actually download this. So you got your wealth code. And your wealth code says, focus on income generating assets. Don't lose money, Warren Buffett. Asymmetric risk reward, Ray Dalio. Tax efficiency. Diversification across, within assets, markets, currencies, and time. The fundamentals of investment, real estate, and business don't change. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world, Albert Einstein. Portfolio strategy. Gratitude is the key to happiness. Your mind creates your destiny and your life. Nurture it. Chaos is your best friend. In chaos, there's opportunity. To risk nothing is to risk everything. Be constantly learning. And I want to leave you with a poem. The credit belongs to the person who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes short again and again, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, and spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end high achievement, and who at worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly. Far better it is to dare mighty things, to win glorious triumphs, even though checkered by failure, than to rank with those poor spirits who neither enjoy much nor suffer much, because their life is a great twilight that knows neither victory nor defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you to all of you for your time. I'm now going to pivot into the Q&A. For the people that are in the VIP and all the Wealth Hackers and Mastermind members, Alex and I today actually have a facilitated session to go more into the wealth plan and to help you with some guidance around the wealth plan. So we'll literally be going through that now in the Q&A. If you want to join the VIP and all the Wealth Hackers, you can get access to it. I want to thank you very much for your time. Hopefully we've delivered on our promise. We promised you that when you joined 5 days ago, that you'd be able to fill in the sheet. And I'd like to believe that we fulfilled on our promise, that you now know why you want to diversify, which countries, which currencies, which assets, how to find the partners, how to use technology, how to build a wealth plan. And finally, I've even shown you today how you can use technology to help it achieve. It's been a blessing. It's been an honor. And I always finish with a request, and that is that the wealth gap is one of the greatest challenges we've got on the planet. And what you've now witnessed, and my request to you, is that we need to go out there and share this. I'm sharing my burden of responsibility with you because the only way we're going to solve this challenge is by empowering people, giving them access to the right information and the right partners. And so help us, help you, and let's create the world that we want. Cheers.